Hello and welcome to Surrey Sports Park, where revenge is in the air. Surrey Smashers, undefeated at home since the inception of the A.J. Bell National Badminton League, entertained Loughborough Sport, last season's beaten finalists, this season's early pace setters, and the team who handed the Smashers a 5-0 drubbing in the 2015 playoffs. Two teams with great players, great supporters and great expectations. Will Surrey be able to exercise the air of Miss Havisham, or will Loughborough Sport pip them to the post? It's A.J. Bell National Badminton League Match Night 4. The fastest racket sport in the world just got faster. I'm Dave Rogers. Alongside me, former England international and national coach John Quinn. John, cracking venue, and it's really starting to build nicely here.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to being back in Surrey. I did a match last year of Surrey versus Derby, and the atmosphere here was incredible. They made lots of noise, and there was a few interesting sound effects as well during the match. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be really good, and I hope the crowd really make as much noise as possible tonight.
Well, I think they will. I was here for this fixture last year. It was unquestionably the fixture of the season for me. Surrey Smashers beat Loughborough Sport with the very last shuttle. It was some Chris Langridge magic. I'll speak to you a little bit more about that later. But since then, Surrey's form seems to have dilapidated, and Loughborough have gone from strength to strength. Why do you think that might be?
Well, unfortunately, Surrey are missing one or two players this season. Obviously, Gabby Adcock's missing and Robert Blair, and unfortunately tonight Tom Wolferdon's had to miss out as well. So they're struggling a little bit for their selections, but Surrey are still a very strong team, and I expect them to get through to the playoffs. Loughborough have looked very strong like last year. They made the final against Derby, and I expect them to be in the playoffs again. But they've just as strong as they were last year, and I think they've added one or two players as well, just to increase the strength and depth that they have.
Well, you mentioned Tom Wolfenden there. He's missing out in the mixed doubles. Just to give you a rundown of the events this evening, we have 5 events, starting with the mixed doubles. For Surrey Smashers, Chris Tonks making his debut, and Emily Westwood will face Loughborough Sports' Greg Mears and Jenny Moore. We then move on to the men's singles. Carl Baxter for Surrey takes on the fans' favourite Loughborough Sports' Henry the Hoover Herskainen. Then, women's singles, Georgina Bland from Epsom in Surrey represents the Smashers against Chloe Birch of Loughborough Sport. It's then men's doubles, Chris Langridge, the captain, and Dean George against Peter Briggs and Harley Towler. And finally, women's doubles, Sophie Brown and Abigail Holden for Surrey Smashers against Lauren Smith and Jenny Woolwork. Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier, John, Tom Wolfenden missing out in the mixed doubles, as is Rob Blair. But in comes Chris Tonks for a debut. How do you think he'll get on?
Well, Chris is obviously, he's not a full-time player anymore, but he was a previous GB national squad player. He's coaching full-time now down in Reading at Reading PC. But he's an experienced player. I know it's his debut, but I don't think he's going to be over-phased by tonight's occasion. He's played in front of big crowds before, so I'm expecting a good performance by him. The only one downside to this is obviously Chris and Emily have never played together before, and that sort of slightly gives the favourites tag to Greg and Jenny, who are an established mixed doubles pair, and because mixed is obviously a very tactical game, that would slightly favour Loughborough. It's a shame that Tom's not playing, because he's an exceptional mixed player, and it would have led for a very exciting game. But as I say, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Chris and Emily really did put Greg and Jenny under a lot of pressure.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, because that is the first event of the evening, the mixed doubles. Looking at the 5 events we have this evening, one really sticks out for me. Which one really sticks out for you?
It's probably the men's doubles. It's normally the fastest, the most exciting game that we'll see tonight, and obviously these two pairs have a little bit of history from last year when they had I believe it was a 5-4 in the 5th set. Is that correct? And I'm expecting this just to be just as close. You know, they're differing styles of play. Dean and Chris play very fast and flat, and obviously Peter and Harley, not a pair now, but they played together for many years before recently being split up by the GB program, but they are well aware of how to play with each other, and they have that understanding. And obviously Peter's a very 6'4" player, and he's at times very difficult to play against.
Well, he's making a bit of a reputation for himself as the king of the breakers. As I said in the opening, it was a piece of Chris Langridge magic that won that match and the whole evening for Surrey Smashers in the end. But since then, Peter and, well, Peter and Harley have won 5 regular season events in a row. They've been in sparkling form, and Peter's got himself a bit of a reputation as the king of the breakers. He's been involved in 5 now. 5 matches that have gone down to the very last shuttle, and we'll be hoping for similar drama this evening. So we've talked about players that are missing, but let's talk about players that have come back in. Henry Huskainen is coming back in for Loughborough. He really has had a positive impact on this league. Absolutely.
He was fantastic last year in the NBL, and he won all his matches. Unfortunately, he missed out in the final to Raj Youssef, but obviously that's no bad thing. Obviously, Raj is an exceptional player, world-class player, so it's no disgrace to lose to Raj. But Henry's carried on his good form this year, and he's a very strong player in this NBL, and Loughborough Sport really rely on him as a real talisman. Obviously, you know, he's a Swedish player, but they've made him a captain because he's very important to this team, and Loughborough will be expecting a point from him tonight. And
they certainly will. He also makes a real big impression as a character, particularly the home fans. They've really taken to him. They've given him the nickname the Hoover, and some of the Loughborough faithful actually bring a Henry Hoover to matches. Very, very exciting stuff. However, he did lose his match against Nottingham, against Peng, their men's singles player. So it does show that the quality, particularly in the men's singles department, is really high in this league.
Yeah, again, Eric Pang is no mug. He's a very experienced player. He's been a top 20 player in the world. And even though he's just recently retired at the end of last season, he's still an exceptionally talented player. And it's no disgrace to lose to a player of Eric Pang's standard. I think in future, I think Henry will be looking to reverse that possibly in the playoffs, because you would expect Henry to beat Eric, but it's no disgrace to do that.
Well, Raj had his opportunity to get one over on Henry after Henry's victory, and the rivalries are forming a really exciting part of this AJ Bell National Badminton League. But now, I think it's time to get the players out onto the court.
Will you please welcome to court our 2 teams? First out, visitors tonight, Loughborough Sports. Led by their captain, Henry Huskainen. Their team is Greg Ness. Jenny Moore, Loughborough, Peter Briggs, Harley Towler, Lauren Smith and Jenny Woolworth. Their bench is Vicky Williams, Jordan Hart, Andrew Smith, Matt Clare.
So Loughborough Sport just taking the court now, currently topping the table as we head into AJ Bell National Badminton League match night 4. They're on 7 points, 1 ahead of Birmingham on 6. But now it is lights out time. Surrey Smashers put on one of the best shows in the league, alongside Loughborough Sport, actually, who put on a pretty fantastic show themselves. There's a countdown clock away to our right. There goes 3, 2, and 1. Let's get the home team on the court.
Surrey Sports Park, will you put your hands together and please welcome your Surrey Smashers. First, your captain, he's the reigning national champion, and now greeting captain, it's Chris Langridge.
Great reception for the captain, Chris Langridge. He'll feature in the 4th event of the evening, the men's doubles.
Yeah, recently married as well, just to the end of December. So he's obviously he's in a different state of mind.
I was going to say, do you think that will have any effect on his form?
No, I still think he'll be just as intense as ever. Obviously, Chris is a firm favourite with the Surrey crowd because he's a very intense player, very dedicated, very determined player, and hopefully his wife will just settle him down a little bit.
Well, he's a real live wire, isn't he? Great to watch. The complete opposite of someone like Henry Huskainen or Raj Youssef, who always look relaxed on the court. He really does wear his heart on his sleeve, the Smashers captain.
It's fan favourite, Dean George.
Very vocal crowd, as we'd expect here in Surrey. Great welcome for Dean George.
Please welcome back, Sophie Brown.
Yeah, Sophie's obviously a new player for Surrey Smashers this year. She played for Milton Keynes Badminton last season. She's now established herself as one of the best ladies doubles players in the Great Britain programme. She's really coming on well.
Now please welcome your Surrey Smashers subs. Ollie Thompson.
Yeah, just some of the young Surrey Smashers backup and reserve players just coming onto the court.
If you are joining us for the first time and you're wondering why there are reserves and substitutes, one of the game changers that the AJ Bell National Badminton League have introduced, you can actually have injury substitutions in the middle of games. That, along with the fact that we're playing best of 5, not best of 3, the first to 9 points, and you don't have to win by 2 clear points, so it can finish 9-8 in a set. And if it goes to the 5th, it'll be a 5-point breaker. We have the pink shuttle, which is the AJ Bell power play, that is worth 2 points to the serving player. And the timeouts as well, that the coaches can call 1 per match. When they do, we'll be hearing a very, very loud air horn that always catches me by surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. The power play plays a massive part in this NBL. It can really change the focus and the momentum within each game. So the use of it is absolutely critical, whether the player calls it or, as you said, sometimes the coach will call it. They just got a feeling this is the right time to call it. And it will affect matches tonight, it's sure.
So the Surrey Smashers on your screen, currently in 4th place, level on points with Team Derby. Chris Langridge there, just looking to get the crowd pumped up. A great turnout here at Surrey Sports Park. So just a rundown of the league. As I said before, Loughborough 1st place on 7, Birmingham 6 in 2nd place, then Team Derby and Surrey Smashers joint 3rd on 5 points. University of Nottingham Badminton in 5th place on 4 points, and MK Badminton in 6th place on 3 points. This is match night 4. Remember, the top 4 go through to the playoffs, and will ultimately fight it out to see who will become the 2nd AJ Bell National Badminton League champions. Here come the officials for the first match, which is the mixed doubles. Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood against Greg Mears and Jenny Moore. We've talked about this one a little bit already. Chris Tonks coming in as Tom Wolferden's not available, Rob Blair is not available, but he's got plenty of experience. Emily Westwood coming off the back of a victory as well. This isn't as cut and dry as it may look.
No, it's not. Obviously, I would give Greg and Jenny the slight favourites tag here, as they're an established pair, but as I said earlier, Chris is an experienced player and he's not going to be fazed by this, and Emily is one of the strongest ladies mixed doubles players in the GB programme, and she'll need to try and dominate the net a little bit, take it away from Jenny, to give Chris the opportunity to produce those big power smashes that he's renowned for.
Chris Tonks has only recently, actually this month, which is only, what, 11 days old, signed for the Smashers. So the fact that they've thrown him in at the deep end shows they've got a lot of confidence in him. As you said, he's coaching, maybe not training as much as the full-time guys. However, in this shortened format, maybe that might not be as much of an issue.
Correct. Fitness plays less of a part in this short format. It's more about the speed, aggression, and obviously your tactical awareness. And Chris does have that. So I'm expecting Chris and Emily to really put up a good show here. And it's a real 50-50 match here.
Well, Emily Westwood, alongside Rob Blair, got Surrey Smashers' only point on that ill-fated away trip to Derby. 4-1 Team Derby were victorious on that occasion. This match night 4 is the first time that we've seen all 6 franchises in operation at the same time.
Yes, Surrey obviously, if Robert Blair had been available, I'm sure he would have played, but he's out in the Indian Premier League at the moment for the last 2 weeks, so that's why he's missing. And unfortunately, Tom just had a slight injury, I think, to his shoulder in the last week or so, so that's why Chris has got his opportunity now. But as I said earlier, he's not going to be fazed by this, and I'm sure we're going to see a good performance by him.
Well, we actually spoke to him briefly before the match, didn't we? And he seemed in a good mood and in good spirits, and really looking forward to making his Smashers debut.
Yeah, he's quite a relaxed character, you know. he's hitting all the time. Obviously, most of his work's done now by coaching. He's doing a very good job down at Reading Performance Centre, and so he's used to hitting every day. He just doesn't do the same volume as some of the other full-time players.
Moving on to the Loughborough pair then, they've played a lot of badminton together on the European circuit, and they retain their place after their mixed doubles win against Team Derby. Incidentally, the same pair that Emily Westwood was victorious against, but they'll be hoping that their experience and their knowledge of each other's games will be enough to see them through this evening.
That's right. They've had a very good start to the season the last 3 or 4 months, and at the end, in December they got to a semi-final of an international challenge in Wales, and that's probably their best ever result, and they are showing real form. And I think just that understanding that they possess with each other. They train together. The two left-handers, which can be quite awkward to play against, especially if their opposition weren't experienced. I think Chris and obviously Emily will be well aware of their strengths and weaknesses, but you know, Greg and Jenny are rightly so have kept their place because they put up a good performance in the previous NBL matches.
So final preparations on the court now. Loughborough Sport in predominantly purple with the white chevron and the pink trim. Surrey Smashers all in black, looking to recapture some of that form that put them in such a strong position early on in the inaugural season. And as I said, revenge in the air, because they were not happy at all following that 5-0 whitewash in the semi-finals. But there's a lot of water under the bridge since then, and it almost seems as though every event, every fixture is almost like a fresh start for these guys.
Absolutely, and I think sometimes the matches are so close, and there's sometimes that little bit of luck that can happen. For example, I remember last year the first match I saw when Derby played Surrey down here. Derby lost 5-0. You know, in this time, looked completely outclassed, even though they should have won 1 or 2 games in that match. But they obviously then went on to win the final. So, you know, I'm expecting this just to be as tight as ever, like all the NBL matches are, and I'm expecting this to be very, very close, really, you know, heavily contested.
Well, the MC here is really trying to get the crowd riled up. He's sat just away to our right-hand side. You can't quite see him on your screens, but the crowd really starting to build here. This is something that all of the Surrey franchises do really well. This is the home to their netball franchise and basketball franchise as well, and it really is a fantastic venue. And a great size for an event like this as well.
Absolutely. You know, we've got a full crowd tonight. I don't know what the capacity is here, but it's very, very busy, and obviously as we're starting to get, it's going to be very, very noisy. And as I say, expect a few unusual sounds tonight, and because they have some good PA systems.
Yeah, they certainly do. The level's gone up. Look, we can see the youngsters involved. They've got their Go Smashers signs. And we want you to get involved tonight as well. The Twitter handle is @NBL_official, and use the hashtag GameChangers. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us who you're interested in watching. And just tell us about your NBL experience. It's been a great journey so far, especially since it's become the AJ Bell National Badminton League, the headline sponsors for this second season. And we're about to get underway with the first event, the mixed doubles on match night 4. Surrey Smashers, Chris Tonks making his debut alongside Emily Westwood against Greg Mears and Jenny Moore of Loughborough Sport. Looking over at the umpire, I think they're just having a couple of technical problems, hence the reason that the players have definitely exceeded the 1-minute warm-up time that they're usually given, but I'm sure that that extra time on the court will be very welcome.
Yeah, the players will enjoy this, to have that extra 1 or 2 minutes just to knock up. It gets rid of a few nerves. Obviously, they've all had a chance to hit on the court earlier on, but obviously when they get called onto court, the nerves are there to be seen. So this extra time, just to get a good sweat on, just gets rid of those little bits of tension in your arm. So they'll be quite happy, and none of them will be overly worried about this.
Nice shot of Emily Westwood with a big smile on her face there. She's obviously looking forward to this one. Oh, now the MC's out in the crowd, really looking to get them riled up, and we can hear it too. Sounds fantastic. Surrey Smashers once again outdoing themselves on the match night experience. It must be completely different hitting on the court. Now it's full, now the temperature's up a little bit, now it's a little bit louder.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, in one way, the conditions don't change an awful lot, but any change in temperature and obviously the noise will really affect the players. You know, Surrey will want their teams, their supporters, to make as much noise as possible and put a little bit of pressure on the Loughborough players, and because that can make all the difference at all.
Have you had a chance to hit one of the pink shuttles yet? Because when I've been commentating alongside Neil Cottrell, he said that they fly differently. Is that a belief that you share too?
Supposedly, the players are of the opinion that it does fly differently. They believe that it changes the weight of the shuttle by making it slightly heavier. But they've been weighed. I spoke to officials at Badminton England. They've been weighed, and they're supposed to weigh exactly the same. So it could just be a mental thing.
Yeah, would it be possible to say that maybe that is all in the mind?
I think it is. I think it is, but it's you know, it's hard to tell. I think it is in the mind, but the players believe it changes it. So for them, it does.
Well, it's certainly been a great addition to this AJ Bell National Badminton League. Looking over at the umpire now, I think they've given up on the electronic scoring system, and he has a good old-fashioned pen and paper, like it used to be done.
Yes, it's not something that'll affect the players too much. Unfortunately, obviously for the crowd, they're going to have to pay attention a little bit more and listen to the score rather than seeing it up in lights. But it's not going to affect the outcome of this match at all.
So here we are then, a couple of minutes later than scheduled. We are about to get underway. Surrey Smashers hosting Loughborough Sport on AJ Bell National Badminton League match night 4. We kick off with the mixed doubles. Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood in the black of Surrey Smashers against Greg Mears and Jenny Moore in the white, pink and African violet.
Lovely.
Of Loughborough Sport.
It's a very nice colour. It's important that both pairs be really looking to start well, because these matches go so quickly that you can't afford to go 2 or 3 love down, because the set's gone. That both pairs be looking to start very, very quickly and very, very solidly here.
Momentum key. So Jenny Moore to serve first for Loughborough.
Service over.
Into the net early on, and Surrey Smashers strike first, so Emily Westwood will serve.
Yeah, mixed is all about controlling the net, so that's why Jenny was reluctant to lift away there, especially at the start of the match. I'm sure her coach Andy Wood and Mike Adams have told them really try and concentrate on the net. And obviously Surrey have started very, very well. Emily, that's going to be the key to this match. Emily taking on Jenny at the net and really trying to command and forcing the opponents to lift.
Oh, bit of luck off the net there. After a great start, particularly from Emily Westwood. Greg Mears gets the rub of the green off the tape, and Loughborough are off the mark. So Smashers 3, Loughborough 1. A little bit short there, and Greg Mears pounces.
2-3.
A little bit of confusion there, the rackets clash. Could that be something to do with the fact that they've not played together before?
Quite possibly. Obviously Chris and Emily have not played at all together, so it'll take a little while for them to get that little understanding. But as I say, they're both experienced, and the key to this match is just being able to control the net, forcing the opponent to lift and then staying on the attack, because mixed is all about that.
Into the net from Tonks there, so from 3 down, we're now locked at 3-all. Greg to serve.
Yeah, good first rally, big rally there.
4-3.
Both pairs just feeling their way into this match. First decent rally we've seen. But again, the attacking pair staying on top.
Shuttle wide there from Jenny Moore, so we're locked at 4-all.
4-all.
Yeah, good smash there by Emily. straight down the line, and Jenny just not being able to control the shuttle. Yeah, lovely shot there by Chris. Forcing Greg right to the back, creating the space, and then driving the shuttle cross court for the winner.
Yeah, really nice, interesting change of service there as well. We don't see the male serve go long very often, do we?
No, it's obviously a mixed. Both pairs were really trying to control the net, and so you do find that a lot of the rallies are played in and around the net, but sometimes the space is not there. So sometimes you have to go over the top to find the space, and that's what Chris did with the flick serve.
Well, Chris Tonks taking to the NBL like a duck to water at the moment. Some really imposing stuff from the debutante, and Surrey Smashers lead 6-4.
6-4.
Very nice there by Emily. Obviously both the Loughborough sport players are left-handed, and Emily was just able to find that space down the backhand, getting the weak return by Greg, and Chris was able to finish that off.
Well finished there by Greg Mears, but a lovely touch at the net from Jenny Moore too to set the point up. Loughborough staying in touch here, 5-7 they trail.
Big point this coming forward now. Very good.
And the big point goes to Surrey Smashers again. Emily Westwood dominating the net. And this is game point. Surrey Smashers 8-5. Emily Westwood to serve.
Yes, as a man, you really want your lady hitting and going forward, and Emily did that exceptionally well there. Was very aggressive coming forward and produced the easy kill just by her good movement.
Service mistake though, 6-8, still game point. Door ajar for Loughborough. But the shuttle goes long, and Surrey Smashers off to a great start. They take the first game 9-6. And that'll do their confidence the world of good.
Absolutely, that 3-love head start really did. It just relaxed them, settled them down, and the Loughborough pair were never able to just get their noses ahead, and that's all crucial.
Well, Chris Tonks not looking out of place in this AJ Bell National Badminton League at all.
15 seconds.
But Emily Westwood really did grab the ball by the horns in that first game.
Yeah, she served very well in that first game, and was also very aggressive. And I think she's just going to look to try and do exactly the same. And it's now Jenny and Greg's, you know, they've got to try and take that net away from her and put her under a little bit of pressure, because for most of that set, Greg and Jenny were the ones under pressure and losing the control of the net.
So on we go, second game, Emily Westwood to serve.
Short lift by there, Jenny, and Chris was all over it. Yeah, nice variation there by Greg. Just slicing across the shuttle to bring it down nice and steep. Forcing the error there by Chris.
More to serve, 1-all.
Yeah, very clever. Using that slice drop, that half smash, because he knows his partner's going to take this straight. And obviously with them both being left-handers, they're really, really strong down that side of the court. Chris and Emily need to try and find the other side of the court where there's a lot more space.
Shuttle just long. Jenny Moore there. So it's 2-all early in the second. Would you say it's fair to say that neither team has lifted particularly well so far, really forced their opponents back?
Yeah, I don't think it's very fast, but both pairs have really struggled to lift the shuttle accurately and deep into the corners. It's either been a little bit short or at the back. I think both pairs are just reluctant to lift, so it creates a little bit extra tension in the arm.
It's a lovely touch at the net there from Jenny Moore. For Loughborough to sneak into the lead, 3-2. A little bit short there from Greg, so that's 3-all.
Yeah, this is a crucial time in this game.
3-all.
Both pairs will be wanting to impose their style of play on each other. Nice return there by Greg.
4-3.
Seems to read the serve really well there.
Yeah. All these pairs would have spoken to their coaches. They'll know how each other's play. Obviously, Chris is a little bit of an unknown for probably Greg and Jenny, but they'll know Emily's game inside out.
5-3.
Greg Mears really turning the screw there. Great variety on the shots. And Loughborough just sneaking in front. A 2-point advantage now, 5-3. Well watched by Jenny Moore. Just pulled the racket out of the way to win the point, 6-3.
Nice aggressive play there by Greg, really stepping forward into it on his backhand side. Not letting the shuttle drop down, so he really forced the weak lift.
Well, the pace.
Yeah, it was really, really quick and aggressive onto that, and it set up the easy kill for his partner. This is better. This is nice.
What I was going to say is the pace seems to have gone up from Loughborough, but Surrey smashes. Particularly Emily Westwood doing her utmost to control the pace to their level there, and some brilliant work at the net from the Surrey player.
The first set, Chris and Emily were on the attack most of the time, but they've lost their way a little bit here, and the Loughborough pair have taken control of the net a little bit and staying on the attack. And especially with the two left-handers, it is slightly unusual. You don't get too many pairs, whether they're ladies mixed or men's doubles pairs who are both left-handed, and that's their strength there. And too much in this game so far, Surrey have played down to the strengths of the Loughborough pairing.
Well, this is game points.
Yeah, you see there, the backhand side is the much weaker area, but it's almost the first time they've really done it. Most of the returns and the pushes have been down the forehand side. They've got to look to those areas a bit more.
Still game point, 5-8. Emily Westwood again, quick into the net, pouncing on any Loughborough mistakes. 6-8. Still Westwood serving, still game point.
Yeah, crucial point this. Even though it's 6-8, if Surrey were to win this one, they've got the opportunity to put their power play in and get a game point. Yeah.
They've run the point too.
And I'd be, if I was the coach, I'd be shouting out for them to take the power play here. Yeah.
And they've called it.
Yeah.
Here we go, the power play. So this is essentially game point either way. From 5-8 down, Emily Westwood serves for the game. If you're joining us for the first time, then each team has one power play per event. And it's worth 2 points to the serving team. Emily Westwood serves for the set. But it's Jenny Moore who keeps a cool head, annuls the power play and wins the game for Loughborough Sports to level it up at 1-all. That could be a real turning point.
Yeah, that was a big rally. Both girls really trying to control the net and get the lift for their partner. But Jenny just got on top there. That was good play. But again, Emily played to Jenny's forehand, and it just made it a little bit easier than it probably could have been. But that's a big point. I think from 2 sets to 0 up, Surrey would have been very difficult to beat. So now it's evenly poised, and as we expected, a very close match.
It certainly is. Well, the longer this match goes on, the more Chris Tonk's conditioning is going to come into it as well.
Potentially. Obviously, it's not been a physical match so far. It's more been a tactical affair, but you are right.
Jans goes begging there for Tonks.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just broke a string there, just mistimed his smash. And it just caught right at the top of the racket, so he broke a string there. Occupational hazard of a badminton player.
Absolutely. So first blood in the third goes to Loughborough Sport. Jenny Moore serves. Emily Westwood there just looking to pump them down the line. Instead puts it into the net, so Loughborough Sport take a 2-point lead early in the third.
Yeah, nice serving there by Jenny. That's exactly what you want from your partner. Really serving very accurately to the man.
And in this format, 3 points is a very handy lead indeed.
Yeah, it's very difficult to come back from this. They have to win this point, sorry.
Just long over on the far side, well watched by Greg Mears, and that air horn lets us know that we are having the first timeout of the evening, called by the Surrey Smashers coaches. What do you think they'll be saying?
Well, Dean George, the coach there, is quite an experienced coach, and he'll just be reminding Chris and Emily about the tactics, about where to play the shuttle. Because I don't think sometimes, especially when they've lifted or defended, they've played to the wrong areas on the court. Even though that last lift went out, it was to the correct area, it was turned to the backhand side. But it's, as I say, they've just got to make sure that they're serving and returning very well and trying to control from the beginning. And Andy Wood, the Loughborough Sport coach, will just be reminding Greg and Jenny just to continue doing what they're doing, and because the pressure's now on the Surrey Smashers team.
It certainly is. They trail 4-love in the third, having won the first 9-6, lost the second 9-7 after calling their power play to give themselves a game point. Jenny Moore to serve. As we often see, the team that calls the timeout wins the first point. And Smashers off the mark, 1-4 with Emily Westwood to serve.
Very nice. Good rally there, especially by both girls, showing a lot of skill in and around the net. They both really understand the importance of controlling the net, and both girls showing a lot of skill there.
Surrey Smashers 2, Loughborough Sport 4 in the third game of this best of 5 opener. A little too flat there from Tonks, handling the initiative back to Loughborough.
Just forcing it a little bit. He needed to just be a little bit more controlled and relaxed in his shot there. He's just trying to force it too much.
Great touch again from Emily Westwood. Many will say she got the luck. She'll say she aimed for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Her movement forward, which was a good thing there. She played the drop and really ran forward into the net, so she deserved a little bit of luck. It's 1-1 in the luck stakes, I think, so far. Yeah, very good there by Chris. As I say, sometimes you can get over-focused on just playing everything to the net. Sometimes there's no space there. The girl will be forward and the man will be looking to step forward into the shuttle. So sometimes the space is over the top of the head. And that was a classic example. Chris lifted Greg over to his head and got the weak return. Yeah, and we've seen a few more flick serves so far. There's been quite a number of flick serves. The Surrey Smashers pair seem to have a tactic of trying to get Jenny and Greg to the rear of the court, then creating a little bit of space at the net. Yeah, same again. Yeah, that was a classic little play there. The flick serve came. They created a space in the net, the block came, and then they forced the lift. Obviously, they lost the point, but they set the rally up quite nicely.
Well, it's really difficult to wrestle back momentum in this format. And remember, they were 3-love down in this third set. There's now just 1 point in it, 5-6.
Yeah, they've done very well to come back here to 5-6. It's a very crucial part of the game here. Does Emily have the nerve to keep serving short here to Greg? There again, we're seeing this battle for the net. Very nice.
Well, the answer to your question is yes, she does have the nerve to serve short, and her prize is levelling the score at 6-all.
But she's flicked Jenny a few times recently, so I'm sort of half expecting a flick serve here to open the court up, but no, she does very, very nice there. Yeah, very, very good. Often the man gets the glory because he's the one who finishes, but it's the lady in mixed doubles who sets up the play. It's very important, and Emily's done that very well the last 2-3 points.
3 points in a row from 4-6 down to 7-6 up.
Yeah. She didn't have the nerve to serve short again. Yeah. The winning formula she changed for some reason.
7-all, and here comes Loughborough Sport with the power play. They want this one over and done with. And who can blame them, because Surrey Smashers looking dangerous every time.
My money's on a flick serve here.
For the game.
Very good. Chris really jumping up nice and high there. Greg just going a little bit passive in his play and just giving that attack away far, far too easy. Chris really taking the opportunity well. Big smash there, big jump smash.
Greg hammered the shuttle to the Smashers side of the court there. He was not happy with the way he played that point, and he's got every reason to be frustrated too, because from a chance to win the game, they are now game point down. Finishes the job, full length stretch from Greg Mears, but it will come as no surprise that Emily Westwood pounces at the net, and Surrey Smashers take the third game 9-7 for a 2-1 lead. Brilliant play from the home team.
Yeah, Emily especially there, she was the difference between the two pairs. Served very, very well and was really aggressive, and that's what you want from your mixed doubles partner. You've got to be positive, you've got to be aggressive. If you start being passive and defensive in your play, you just invite all the pressure onto yourself, and that's what happened there. Greg did that at 7-all. He lifted away and invited the pressure onto himself, and obviously Chris finished it very nicely, but that's what you want in mixed doubles. You want your partner to be very aggressive and very positive in the play. Emily did exceptionally well towards the end of that game.
Fourth game. Surrey Smashers took the first game 9-6 before Loughborough Sport took the second 9-7. Surrey Smashers took the third 9-7. This is a really evenly matched game. Great way to kick off proceedings this evening. Great rally to kick off the fourth.
Yeah. Slightly unfortunate by Greg. He was on top of it and just missed that backhand kill.
Neither team can afford to let any chances go begging.
Very nice. Emily's definitely got her confidence now in and around the net.
Great start from the Smashers. They lead 2-love. Remember, if they take this game, they take the opening point. If Loughborough take it, we are heading for a 5-point breaker. This time it's Andy Wood who calls for the timeout. Just a few calming words, I think. Greg looks frustrated out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That third game was very, very important to the outcome of this match, and you can see the confidence of the two pairs is really different. The Loughborough pair looked really a little bit lost out there now, and Andy will just be reminding them just to concentrate on their game, trying to get on the attack, because at the moment they've gone very passive in their play, and Andy can see that they've got to try and turn it around in the next 1 or 2 rallies, or this match will be gone.
15 seconds. 15 seconds. Thank you, coach.
I think it's also important as well, Andy's a very experienced coach, and he'll just want to break the momentum of the game, because at the moment Surrey have won the last 5 rallies, and you know, they can't continue to do this because the match will be gone very, very quickly.
Once again, call the timeout, win the point.
Yeah, it's probably not an awful lot to do with anything Andy said. It's just breaking the momentum of the play. Sometimes the games can run away with you very, very quickly. Sometimes you stop thinking about what you're doing. Just by taking the time out, it just breaks the momentum in the game.
Jenny Moore serves to Emily Westwood. Our commentary position is very, very close to the Loughborough Sport team, and there's a contrast. Emily Westwood on your screen there with a big smile on her face. Greg Mears' facial expressions not nearly that positive.
No, there'll be self-doubts there now. It's an easy game when you're winning. It's hard to turn it around.
The rare mistake from Smashers hands the serve back to Loughborough, 2-4. A chance for Greg to jump and smash, and he wins the point.
Yeah, quite clever play there before there. He put in the unexpected clear, which you don't see that often in mixed doubles, but it created this space over Chris's head for the short lift. And again, they've changed their tactics. They're not necessarily trying to play the net all the time now, because at the moment Emily was doing very, very well. So they're trying to find the rear court a little bit more, and it's worked.
Well, 4-all. This time it's Loughborough's turn to reverse a Love 3 deficit. They now lead 5-4.
Yeah, not the most clever return there by Chris. Straight onto Greg's forehand. Greg just overcommitting on that forehand. It was all or bust there, really. It was either going to be a winner or this easy push down the line for Emily. As a lady in mixed doubles, you've got to expect that a lot of the shuttles are going to come your way, especially the hard smashes and the hard drives. And Emily was really ready for Greg there.
And great credit to her as well. She knew exactly where the space was and found it inch perfect. Again, Loughborough applying the pressure and back in the lead, 6-5 with more to serve. Yeah, a little bit short with that one.
Yeah, she played a nice serve then. I think she should have just lifted it over Chris's head. She tried to be a little bit too precise.
6-all as we reach the business end of the fourth game.
Very well played there. She was expecting that little push from Chris there, and she was right on it.
Out called, so Loughborough Sport with 2 game points to take us to a 5-point breaker. And really, a 5-point breaker is what this event deserves.
Yeah, it's been very evenly matched.
And Loughborough Sport take it. 9-6 in the end. A little bit of flair there from Greg Mears too. He seems to have a bit more of a spring in his step than he had 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely, a 3-love in that set. It only looked like one pair was going to win. Obviously the timeout was taken by Loughborough Sport, and it just completely killed the momentum in the game, and it's changed the match now. And now Loughborough look as though they've got their tails up. They look a lot more, have a lot more better positive body language. And now Surrey Smashers, the pressure's on them. But it's all going to change in the next 1 or 2 points.
Amazing. We spoke about how difficult it is to close gaps, but in the third game, Surrey Smashers closed a 3-point gap, and Loughborough Sport did exactly the same in the fourth. Now it is a 5-point breaker. If you're joining us for the first time watching the AJ Bell National Badminton League, the 5th game is a race to 5, or the team who can take a 3-point lead. Jenny Moore strikes first.
Again, intelligent play there by Greg and Jenny. Greg just smashing down the line, obviously really trying to feed his partner's forehand at the net, and that's exactly what happened. Big point.
A little bit too sharp there from Jenny Moore. The shuttle goes wide, so we're locked at 1-all. Westwood will serve to Moore.
Pressure just got to her a little bit there.
2-1.
Not the time to be making a mistake like that. Greg Mears to serve. Loughborough Sport 2, Surrey Smashers 1.
I'm almost half expecting a 5-4 though, Dave. I think it's
so difficult to predict.
This has got it all written over 5-4, I think.
Well, at this point, I certainly won't ask you to commit to which team is going to win 5-4. That's a great point there from Emily Westwood. So Chris Tonks serves.
It's the one thing, obviously, Surrey have made 2 service mistakes already in this game. And sometimes when it's this close, it's actually better to receive because there's less pressure on you. All the pressure's on the serve.
Absolute suicide. 3-2. 2 of those 3 points have come from service mistakes, but Tonks makes up for it. 3-3.
We'll see if Emily's got the bottle to serve short here, or is she going to flick to Jenny?
So you think a short serve is the correct one?
It is, but I don't know if she's got the bottle. No, the flick serve went. Very nice play.
An audible yes there from Greg Mears as Jenny Moore wins Loughborough's 4th point of the breaker. This is match point Loughborough Sport.
Again, has he got the nerve to serve short? I'm not sure. Yes, he has. Very well played.
Beautiful touch by Emily Westwood. She has had a magnificent match here for Surrey Smashers, and we are going to the final shuttle. 2 games all, 4 points all.
You weren't expecting anything else, were you, Dave?
Absolutely not. The debutant Chris Tonks serves for the match.
It's gone over.
Game.
And he's nearly returned it as well. What a way to end. What looked like a gimme for Jenny Moore, she hammered straight at Chris Tonks' body. He got a racket on it, just not quite enough. And Loughborough Sport have taken the opening point of this evening against Surrey Smashers in the mixed doubles. 6-9, 9-7, 7-9, 9-6, 4-5. What a way to start the evening.
Yeah, those 2 service mistakes in that 5th game were really crucial. And both Emily and Chris made a service mistake there in that 5th set, and it just took a little bit of pressure off the Loughborough team, because all 4 players would have been feeling the pressure. And as you can see there, the last point was a classic example. You know, Chris flicked him, which is the easier serve to do at a crucial time like that. And obviously Jenny there nearly missed the last one. It was a sitter. She was almost took her by surprise that the shot went over. But as I say, it was what we were expecting, a very close game, and just that familiarity of Greg and Jenny possibly just paid dividends there at the end.
Well, what that does do is really set us up for the evening. This venue, although audibly disappointed that they couldn't get over the line in that first match, the place is absolutely buzzing. What a brilliant start to the night. Greg Mears and Jenny Moore defeat Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood in 5 in the mixed doubles. So now we move on to the men's singles. Surrey Smashers Carl Baxter against Loughborough Sport Henry Herskinen, who comes back in having missed match night number 3. How do you see this one going?
Henry is strong favoured in this game, but as we've seen so far, Carl is able to produce the shock. I remember seeing last year Carl beating Rajiv Usev in this format. He'd never ever beaten Raj at all, and all the Tolman plays and all their practice matches, but yet he was able to come forward and produce a big performance that night. I'm expecting Henry to win this match, but you know, Carl is a very experienced player, and again, he's not going to be fazed about this. He's used to playing big players, and he's going to know what Henry's going to bring to the table, so I'm expecting a close match here.
Henry Herskinen on your screens there, 28 years of age. He's won 5 from 6 last season. His only defeat was against Raj Usev in the final. He, of course, defeated Raj in the regular season. As we spoke before, though, he did lose a pang this season and missed the last match for Loughborough Sport, so he'll be looking to get back to winning ways.
Yes, Henry's done a lot of travelling so far this season. Obviously, with it being the qualification period for the Rio Olympic Games, Henry's had to play an awful lot of tournaments and often have to travel to all parts of the world, so he's a little bit more travelled. But I know Henry's been at home recently, and so I'm expecting a good performance by him.
Henry has also won on the European circuit in 2015. And we've spoken about it quite a lot, but he really has become a huge fans' favourite among the Loughborough contingent. As for Carl, he's played 2, won 1, lost 1 in the AJ Bell National Badminton League this season. He's been an ever-present for the Surrey Smashers. 30 years of age, former England international, decent pedigree himself. In fact, took a game off Henry last season. Henry did defeat him twice, 3-0 in the regular season and 3-1 in the playoffs. But, you know, taking the game off him, he can get confidence from that. And as we've seen, if you can somehow build momentum, this 9-point format really is a leveller.
Absolutely, and obviously their styles of play are a little bit different. Carl normally plays very attacking. He looks to try and control the net, get the lift, and I'm sure we're going to see lots of smashes by him. It's just whether he can get that net off Henry and smash accurately enough. But Henry is renowned for having a strong defence, so it won't be so easy for Carl just to put it down on the floor.
Well, sometimes watching Henry, some of the shots he played, it's almost as though he's cross-stitching a tapestry. Really, really great player to watch. One of the many exciting talents we have in this AJ Bell National Badminton League.
Yeah, Henry has a good pedigree, you know, silver medalist in the 2012 European Championships, where he beat the legend Peter Gade in, I think, the semi-final in that tournament before losing to Mark Zwiebler in the final. So on his day, Henry is as good as anybody in Europe. So yeah, Carl has it all to do here.
What Carl will have, though, is the knowledge that Henry can be beaten.
Absolutely, you know, and I think it's an advantage as well that this is at Surrey. He's got his home support behind him, so every big shot that Carl plays will be greeted by loud applause, and I think that does help. I think Carl's played his best badminton when he's been down here. He's struggled a little bit more when he's been on the travels, but he's played very, very well here at Surrey.
Well, the home support will be getting behind him. It is a capacity crowd here. There is Henry Huskainen on your screens right now. A few final stretches. Looking over at the umpire, I think we finally got the electronic scoring system back online as well. So it is all go here at the Surrey Sport Park ahead of this men's singles. Carl Baxter, all in black, against Henry Huskainen of Loughborough Sport in the purple, white and pink. If you are just tuning in, Surrey Smashers trail 0-1 after Loughborough Sport took the mixed doubles. But now Carl Baxter will serve first, and we are underway in the men's singles. Lovely touch at the net there from Henry. He seems to disguise his shots very well. It must be very difficult to get a read on him.
That's right. You do find that it's just different angles. Also, being a left-hander helps as well. I'm just admiring Henry's sporting socks there. All the rage these days.
I thought you were going to say his top knot.
No. The less I say about that, the better, I think.
Early pressure from Huskainen, having lost the first point. He leads 3-1 in the first.
As you say, Henry's really taken to this NBL format, and I know he's really enjoyed this experience, and it's great to see him, you know, playing one year after the other. Unfortunately, we lost a few players who played the NBL last season, but it's great to see him, a player of his caliber, commit to play 2 seasons in a row. It's great to see.
Certainly is, but the Olympian loses out there. Great awareness at the net from Carl Baxter.
It's very important for Carl to try and take the net away from Henry. Otherwise, he's going to be really struggling.
Well, I was going to say, he actually almost went toe-to-toe at the net with him there, but that is a very, very dangerous game to play.
It is, but you have to be brave. You can't just be passive in your play against a good player. You have to take them on.
Bravery paying dividends there for Hyskainen. Off the net tape for a 4-2 lead. Big smash down the line from Baxter.
Yeah, nice rally. Both players were really patient there. And Carl winning with a great smash down the line, something he's really renowned for. Good, hard, accurate smashes.
Well, I'd imagine even when you're not training full-time, that's probably the last thing that leaves your arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Carl will be looking to play a little bit shorter rallies. He's not going to enjoy playing long rally after long rally against Henry. Henry's a little bit physically stronger than Carl at the moment.
Lovely variation from Carl, though. Almost playing Henry at his own game there. Needs to find ways of getting the shuttle on the floor, but that was a lovely disguised shot.
Yeah, he does have to play a little bit more high risk than Henry. He's got to go for his shots. He's got to be positive. Great cross-court smash there by Henry. Just went for the accuracy rather than the full-out power. It's what we call a stick smash, where you're just using the strength in your wrist and your forearm to send the shuttle down nice and accurately, not relying on full power.
Well, it was so good, it almost stunned the crowd into silence. I mean, as someone who commentates on badminton but hasn't played at a high level, I look at the way he set up for that shot, Henry, that smash, and it looked for all the world like he's going to smash it down the line, but then just finds a way to open it up.
That's right. Obviously, the top players do have that variation in their arsenal, and they're able to just change. Sometimes when a player really winds up for a big smash, sometimes it's easy to read because you can see the amount of effort they're putting into it. Sometimes it's the shorter action shots that are much more difficult to read, much more deceptive, and that's what that shot was.
Just wide there from Henry Hyskainen, so the first game point goes begging, but he still has 3 to come, 5-8. Good reflexes there from Baxter, but not quite enough to get the return over the net, and Henry Hyskainen takes the first game 9-5.
Yeah, Henry looked very much in control in that game. Doesn't look stressed in any way. Carl's just got to hope that he can find a way into this match, get a small lead. He never led in that first game, so there was never any pressure for Henry, and I think he's got to look to try and get a 1 or 2 point lead, put a little bit of pressure back on Henry, because at the moment Henry looks very relaxed, very much in control of this match.
So since you mentioned those sports socks, I've not been able to take my eye off them. They're almost like a bra for the calves. I mean,
yeah,
what are they supposed to do?
They're very, very popular now, especially a lot of the young players wear them. Supposedly it helps circulation in your calves, so it's a trendy thing. Sometimes you even get the odd player wearing them around on their arms as well, but it is supposed to be a sports socks to help circulation. But not something I would look good in, I don't think so, but Henry pulls it off okay.
It certainly does. It reminds me of football back in the 90s when Robbie Fowler used to wear that tape across his nose to supposedly help him with his breathing.
Yeah. But they're very, very common now. You find an awful lot of men's singles players especially wearing these type of socks. Just got a little blood injury there. Yeah, just he scraped his knee, and
well, maybe he should try some of Henry's sports socks.
Knee pads, possibly.
Knee pads, yeah.
It's not an injury. It's not a big injury, but it's going to require a little bit of tape, I think, just to cover up the scrape. They don't like you or don't allow you to play with any blood on the court at all, obviously for obvious reasons.
No, that is absolutely fair enough. Carl Baxter just waiting on a little bit of medical treatment. There's a picture of him on your screen there. He's actually looking like he felt that first set a little bit.
Yes, it might be a good thing for him just to have a slightly longer break now. See, I'm sure he didn't plan it like this, but it's again, it's just broken the momentum of Henry.
Of all the things to do, breaking the skin is probably not the best way to waste time. So Carl Baxter trails by 1-0. Henry Huskainen took the first 5-9. Next up is the women's singles. Georgina Bland from Surrey Smashers will take on Chloe Birch. Then we'll have the pick of the evening's event. The men's doubles, Chris Langridge and Dean George against Peter Briggs and Harley Towler. Although I say pick of the evening's events, it will take some doing to beat that mixed doubles that we kicked off with. But we're just about ready to go. Henry Huskainen will receive in the, he'll serve in the second. He has the shuttle in his right hand as the left-hander. Just wide from Baxter. But again, showing he's not scared to take on Henry at the net.
Yeah, so he anticipated the net shot there by Henry. He just unfortunately just caught the frame of his racket, just going out. But positive play. As a coach, that's all you'll be asking of Carl.
This time it's Huskainen who's a little bit errant. So 1-1.
Lovely rally here by both players, really opening the space.
Unlucky from Baxter as well. Spent a lot of time defending there, didn't he? But nearly forged the opportunity to win the point at the end.
That's right, Henry was in control of most of that rally, really causing Carl to take the shuttle late, especially in his rear backhand corner. Carl's just got to do everything in his power just to stay with Henry here, not let him get that 2 or 3 point lead because the game will be gone again. He's just got to try and get level and hopefully get the next one. As you know, anything can happen. Yeah, there's the mistake, you know. And again, the power play might come into force in this game. Carl's been outplayed so far, but he's three points all in this game.
That 4-3. Some confident stuff from Carl Baxter here, some fist pumps and some shouts as well.
Yeah, good play by Carl. He's just giving Henry a little bit something to think about.
Even a suggestion of a fist pump from Huskainen there that you don't get very often. Very difficult to read the emotions of Loughborough's Swedish import, but it's 4-4 here in the second.
Carl just feeding Henry's forehand there, not able to find space, just feeding his racket, and again, Henry's very, very dangerous on the attack.
Just a couple of mistakes sneaking in from Carl here.
That's right, Carl had a big opportunity. He was 4-3 up in this set, and now it's 6-4. He's taking the pressure off Henry.
Important point for Carl Baxter there to make it 5-6. Yes, wide again. It must be frustrating for Baxter because he works so hard to create these opportunities and he's just not quite able to finish them off.
No, he lost his patience there a little bit. He saw the winning line and he went for it a little bit too much.
Do you think that was the correct shot, though?
Well, possibly not. I think he just needs to concentrate on the accuracy of the smash rather than the full-out power. I think that's going to have more benefit than just the hard-out hits, because Henry's very, very strong on defence. And it's more about the accuracy than the power. Great rally here. Both players working really, really hard.
What a shot from Henry Haskainen.
Yeah, great defence there by Henry. As I say, Carl didn't do an awful lot wrong there. He played some really good smashes, some good accurate controlled shots, and Henry just got it back.
Well, I did say sometimes it looks like he's cross-stitching a tapestry. Don't get me wrong, Carl Baxter more than played his part there and had his opportunities, but that was a little bit of absolute magic from Henry Haskainen to bring him to game point 8-5.
It really saps your confidence as well. When you give your best out there, you play your best shots and your opponent just gets it back. It's really soul-destroying.
Well, Haskainen has taken the second game 9-5, the same score that he took the first. Carl Baxter giving it his everything out there, but Henry just a little bit too good at the moment.
That's right. From 4-3 up in that game, Henry really raised his level and played some great badminton. Carl didn't do an awful lot wrong, but Henry was just a little bit too strong on defence for Carl then. And it's an awful long way back now.
Certainly is. Well, let's just go back to that rally then. Do you think there was any point there where Carl could have done anything different? Or was it always going to be a little moment of magic like that was going to be the difference between the two players?
Well, sometimes when you smash cross-court for there, it's a little bit, it's either a win or a mistake, and he really went for it. And, you know, as a coach and as a player, you want to just keep trying to hit accurate shots all the time, but he went all for nothing there. And the moment that Henry got his racket to it, it was always going to be a long way for Carl to run, because running that long diagonal on court is an awful long way. Just like that. See, Henry went for the cross-court smash, he went for the winner. Carl read it, and it's an easy block straight into the court for an easy block, and that's what I mean. Sometimes you have to just play the simple shots, you know. Henry went a little bit too much for that one, and it cost him. But this is a good start by Carl here, 3-love up. He hasn't used his power play.
While he has this advantage, I think he should definitely keep that ace up his sleeve. Because later on, it could prove a brilliant opportunity to get himself back into this match. Well, 3-love turns to 4-love. A dream start here from the Surrey smasher.
Yeah, it's just what the crowd want to see. Carl's really putting in a good fight up now, giving Henry something to think about. He's been absolutely in control of this match so far, but this is great to see. And there's 5.
Well, Henry Haskainen's form deserting him here in the third game. He trails. Love 5. Make that love 6. Tries to get a little bit cute at the net.
Yeah, I think he's just lost his... it's almost been too easy so far, I think, and he's just lost his concentration a little bit. It's not over yet, though, but it probably is now. It probably is now. That's amazing to see a 7-love start compared to what we've seen in the first 2 games. You would not have called this.
Even the riskiest gamblers I know wouldn't be putting any on Henry Haskainen for this, but he is off the mark on the line. We had a great view of that. And the line judge makes the correct call, so it will not be a whitewash. And is it a good game to win? That's lovely stuff at the net. Great variety from Hyskainen.
See, Henry was a little bit more patient in his attack there. Straight smash. He got the obvious straight return, so he was able to set up that cross-court net shot.
Game point, Carl Baxter here. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel for the ever-present Surrey smasher? Not on this point, there isn't. 3-8.
Be interesting to see. Neither teams have called a timeout so far. Quite possibly we'll see one from Loughborough if Henry loses this one.
Shuttle goes long, so out of nowhere, Carl Baxter has turned it on and handed Henry Hyskainen a 9-3. Well, whipping would probably be the best way to describe it in the third to trail 2-1.
Yeah, very unusual. I wasn't expecting that after the first two sets, but credit to Carl there. He was really positive in his play. Henry's level dropped a little bit. Played a few poor shots, selection, and Carl's took full advantage of it. Now we've got a match.
We certainly have. Well, Carl Baxter flew out of the blocks in that third game, and he's going to have to do exactly the same in this fourth.
That's right. It just gave him the confidence. The first time in the match, he'd even been in the lead, so even just going 2 or 3 love up, he would have felt a lot better about his game, and he continued that throughout that game. Lovely shot there by Carl, just jumping up, slicing across the shot, bringing it down very, very steep. I'd say not necessarily trying for the winner, but just setting up the play for the next shot.
Well, almost playing Henry at his own game there, moving him around the court, variety of shots, great disguising.
I don't know, nice choice of music there for...
I always feel sorry for court moppers. They do such a great job. It's not a glorious job, and they always seem to be the target of the banter. I remember going to beach volleyball many years ago and watching the court rakers have to do their job to the Benny Hill theme tune. A frustrated look to the skies there from Carl Baxter as Henry Hyskainen gets his first point of the fourth game.
But Carl's playing a lot better now. He looks a lot more comfortable out there. Defense there, great defense there by Henry.
Again, a fist pump and a yelp from Carl Baxter, because he did a lot of hanging on in that set, and we saw some great defense from Henry Hyskainen.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of belief in his game now. He had none in the first 2 sets. It just looked only one result at all. But now he's got that little bit of belief. He can actually believe he's going to win this game. Carl's a little bit too defensive there. You can't keep giving a player of Henry's caliber that type of attacking opportunities. He's eventually going to take them.
And take it he did, so 2-all in the fourth. Remember, if Hyskainen wins this, he takes Loughborough's second point of the evening. Carl Baxter takes it, then we're going for our second consecutive 5-point breaker. Very audible out call there from the line judge.
Yes, Steve Higgins here, this Surrey coach, has just called that timeout. I was expecting that sometime in this set of either coach. I'm expecting also neither players use their power play, which I'm slightly surprised at now. I think it's a good opportunity to take it. One thing, obviously, it gives you the opportunity to score 2 points, but it stops your opponent having the opportunity to score 2 points. And I think it's very, very crucial. Probably more so for Carl. You know, I think the moment he gets the service back, he should really look to try and take his power play.
That's a really interesting point, actually, that I've never really thought about it as taking your power play nullifies your opponent's opportunity to do so.
Absolutely.
One thing that will be on both of their minds, though, is if they do take their power play and we go to a 5-point breaker, then the opponent will still have theirs left.
That's the risk, but it's. But I think it's a good time to call it in this set so far by either player. Yeah, very clever. It's the first time he's a little bit of variation. First time he's done anything a little bit different from a short serve. He just did that flick serve and he caught Carl by unawares. And here we go, as I expected. It's absolutely the right time.
As you expected. Have you played this game?
I have, yeah. If Henry wins this point, the match is over.
Yes.
I really feel that.
Yeah, you have to feel that.
Yeah, he's gone very attacking now, Henry. He knows the importance of this point.
But Carl Baxter has saved the point. Managed to hang in there. You could see what Herskainen was trying to do. Forced the opportunity. Carl Baxter grabbed the bull by the horns.
Yeah, very brave there by Carl. Played the net shot and really waited for Henry to play the net shot back, and he just anticipated it. Very, very good. As I say, a lot of it's about the battle of the net for these men's singles players. They're constantly looking to try and control the rallies that way.
Huge credit to Carl Baxter for the way he's got back into this game, because he was down and out after 2. He'd lost 9-5, 9-5. He took the third 9-3 and defended that Herskainen power play.
That's it.
You did call that when the shuttle was still in the air.
That was a hopeful shot. He left that really knowing it was going in and just hoped it was going out. So sometimes you do that if you're out of position, you're just hoping and willing the shuttle goes out, but that was never going out.
So what would be the benefit of that as opposed to just returning it?
Hope, luck.
Yeah,
it's really that simple. Carl knows he's in a difficult position now, and he was just really willing and hoping the shot went out.
I feel as though this is a must-win point for Baxter, but he puts it into the net and he can't believe it either. Was that an opportunity?
Yeah, so he played a good rally there. He just tried to play a little bit too tight. Obviously, the higher level players you play, the more accurate you think you have to be, the more tight you have to play, and Carl just felt that little bit of pressure there. Knew he had to play as tight as possible. It's a long way back for Carl now.
Lovely from Herskainen. As you said before, sometimes the placement beats the power, and that was beautifully positioned.
Absolutely, all the players hit hard here, but it's more about the placement, especially in singles, to hit the accurate shots rather than necessarily always going for full-out power. As I say, sometimes the shorter action shots, as we term them stick smashes and stuff, are much more effective.
This is match point for Henry Herskainen. It's been put into the net by Carl Baxter. It's been a brave performance by the Surrey smasher, but ultimately he's been outclassed by one of the best in the AJ Bell National Badminton League. Henry Herskainen has defeated Carl Baxter 9-5, 9-5, 3-9 9-3. Would you say that's a fair result?
Yeah, Carl did well. He did very well in that third set to really come back into it. He needed to keep that momentum going in the fourth set. Obviously, Henry was strong favourite to win that match, and he did have a little blip in that third set, but because he's experienced, I'm sure it didn't worry him, overly worry him too much, and he managed to get his game back together. And as I say, I think that those opportunities in that fourth set, so I believe Carl should have taken the power point a little bit earlier to try and get that lead, even if it was 2 love or 3-1 or something like that. That would have made a big point, but Henry was always in control, especially once he got 1 or 2 points in the lead.
It's the same old story for Carl Baxter though, isn't it? Every time we watch him we say he played well, he perhaps missed a few opportunities. It must be really, really frustrating for him knowing that he can still compete against some of these top men's singles players, but just not quite being able to get over the line at the right time.
Yeah, Carl's obviously, he's not a full-time player anymore, and when you do that, Carl's still an excellent player, but obviously when you don't do the level of training and the quantity of training that you're used to, that somebody like Henry does, it's hard to sustain your level over a match. And as you see, there was glimpses there, especially in that third set where we saw the class of Carl, but he just wasn't able to maintain that level throughout a match, and Henry's basic solid level is higher than Carl's.
So we move on to the third event of the evening. It's the women's singles. Surrey Smashers, represented by Surrey local, in fact from Epsom, Georgina Bland. She takes on Chloe Birch. There's Georgina Bland on your screen right now. Chloe Birch, her opponent. What do you make of this one?
Well, contrasting styles a little bit. Both are quite physical players. Chloe's a little bit more stronger physically in terms of her strength around court. You usually see from her leg there, her leg strength. She's got very strong legs, both calves and quads. She covers the court very, very well. Georgina's one of those very, very honest players who really works and gives 110% every single rally. But I'm expecting a lot of hard rallies in this game, but possibly Chloe just having the edge here and a little bit more strength of shots here.
Georgina Bland has played 2, won 1, lost 1 in the AJ Bell NBL. That loss coming to 15-year-old Grace King, who absolutely arrived on the scene in that match. A fantastic performance from the youngster. The following week, Grace King was put to the sword a little bit by Chloe Birch, who you mentioned her leg strength. She really does sometimes physically dominate her opponents, doesn't
That's
she?
right. Chloe's both a singles player and a doubles player, and she relies an awful lot on her strength. And she's only 19, I believe, and she's very physically well developed for a girl of her age. Georgina's really got to chase a lot of shuttles down here, and I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of hard competitive rallies. But you'll probably find that Chloe will dominate most of those.
Well, Georgina seems to have strength in keeping rallies alive and wearing opponents down, but maybe she struggles a little bit in finding ways to get the shuttle on the floor. Is that something she's going to have to overcome this evening against Chloe?
That's right. Obviously, Georgina really relies on her ability to chase the shuttle down, rally with her opponents. She doesn't have so many winning shots, but she has an awful lot of heart, and they can carry an awful long way. She's just got to make sure that she gets Chloe's winning shots back, and if she does that and she starts reading the game, then we could be in for a very good match.
Well, we have seen this evening is mistake-free badminton is the key to success. So will that play into Georgina Bland's hand? We will have to wait and see. We're underway.
Yeah. Georgina will be very consistent and solid throughout the match. She's not going to give Chloe too many easy points, and that's going to be a tactic throughout the match. But as we see there, Chloe just has that ability sometimes just to play the winning shot.
And a lovely touch there. Oh, I do apologise. It looked like she'd perfectly placed that over the net, but my eyes let me down. I did say mistake-free badminton would be the winner. Well, that is a mistake and a free point for Bland.
Georgina started very, very well here, as we expected. She's not going to give Chloe any easy points. She's going to make her work for every single rally that she wins.
Apologies, we seem to have lost the scoreboard for a second. Georgina Bland leads 3-1 in the first game here.
Service over, 2-3.
Just a little bit flat with their clears there, and Chloe was able to jump out and intercept that. Singles players often try and play very fast and flat into the corners, but if it's not really, really accurate and your opponent reads it, you can put yourself under undue pressure.
Nicely played by Bland down the line. Chloe Birch not really found her rhythm or range early on here.
As I mean, you know what you're going to expect of Georgina. She's played 6 rallies and hasn't made a mistake yet. It's a little bit up and down from Chloe at the moment. She's just got to relax and get herself into a game.
It's a little bit more like it from Chloe Birch.
3-4.
One of the reasons that Georgina Bland did come unstuck against the youngster Grace King was the fact that in those long rallies she didn't really have a way of finishing them.
Yes, unfortunately she does rely on her opponents to make the mistake. At the moment it's working well enough for her. But if Chloe's not making those unforced errors, then she's always going to possibly have 1 or 2 more opportunities in the rallies to finish than Georgina does. But it's good to see a very competitive match so far.
Certainly is. She looks very comfortable in defence, Georgina Bland, doesn't she? Racket down by her right-hand side. But now Chloe Birch starting to turn up the heat, and she leads for the first time now, 5-4. Really important for Bland to stay in touch now.
Yeah, she's not going to let Chloe get her lead here. She's got to stay with her. That's a mistake. Just that little bit greater strength there.
6-5.
Rare mistake there from Bland. Gives Birch a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, Chloe's really pushed Georgina an awful lot of times into that forehand rear corner. Georgina struggled to get a good length back. I don't know if that's a deliberate tactic, but it's working very well so far.
Bland leaves herself a little bit short, so gives game point to Chloe Birch, 8-5 for a 1-love lead in the event. And that is the first game. Chloe Birch takes it 9-5. And Georgina Bland, that was a bit of a gimme on the last point there. She really can't afford to let opportunities like that pass her by.
Yeah, it's not her natural game to attack an awful lot, but obviously she felt she was game point down, that she had to try and do something a little bit different, but it played a little bit into Chloe's hands. Chloe's a good doubles player, as I mentioned earlier, and you know, she's able to defend quite well against Georgina. Georgina's just got to get back to her way of playing, being very solid, moving the shuttle around the court, being very consistent.
Chloe Birch leads 1-0 against Georgina Bland. If you are watching at home, then do get in touch with us on Twitter at @NBL_official and use the hashtag GameChangers as Chloe Birch gets the second game underway.
This is better by Georgina. Really try and look to prolong the rallies like she did there. it's her best chance of winning the game. Sometimes absorbing a little bit of Chloe's attack and just trying to defend well and hope that Chloe makes one or two mistakes like she did there.
Service over, 1-all.
The PA trying to get the crowd going here a little bit. It's a crucial time here for the Surrey Smashers team.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we've had two real blood and thunder clashes so far. And with Carl Baxter, even when he was behind, he's still very audible, still very visual with the fist pumps and the yelps, and the crowd can really engage with that.
That's right.
When really, they should be trying to make their own cues here for someone like Georgina Bland, who doesn't play like that, to try and spur her on, because she's hanging in there. It's 2-all here. And if maybe the crowd could make a difference in 1 or 2 points, then that could make a difference in the match.
Yeah, she's just got to get it. She's just got to keep believing, keep playing her game. She can't change the way she plays, and she's just got to play her game to the highest possible level and hope that Chloe makes 1 or 2 mistakes. Give herself a little lead, and then give Chloe something to think about. At the moment, Chloe looks quite comfortable in her play. Yeah, good. As I say, it's Georgina's game to play her drops, play her accurate clears, and she can't move away from that tactic. She can't play lots of big smashers and winning shots. She's just got to do what she does best.
Well, so far so good. She leads 4-2 in the second. Make that 5-2.
5-2.
Chloe Birch, 3 mistakes in a row. So Georgina Bland with a very, very handy 3-point lead here.
Very good play by both girls there. Some lovely skills shown by both girls at the net.
Service over, 3-5.
Charge the light brigade, eh? Again, another mistake there by Chloe.
Well, I make that 4 in this game.
Yeah.
Service over, 6-3.
Out as well.
Well, that 4-point lead, 7-3, is a very, very handy one. As you said before, Georgina Bland sticking to her guns, playing her game, and Chloe Birch really out of sorts here.
Sometimes it's very hard to play against a player who just keeps getting the shuttle over and in. It gives you nothing. There, she cut it back. She's just really scrapped it back, and sometimes that's hard to play against because you don't get any cheap points. And obviously, Chloe's made 1 or 2 mistakes there.
Well, that shuttle that Carl left when he knew it was going out, that's not the kind of thing that Georgina would do, is it? She'd just return it at all costs.
Yeah, as I say, she's a very, very honest player. And again, she did her a smash down the line. It's not her strength. And it's probably a good call there by Steve Higgins, called the timeout there. Just remind her, just to prolong the rallies, play her game, rally with Chloe, and sometimes invite a little bit of attack from Chloe. She's not an attacking player, Georgina. She's got to rely on her strengths. Don't deviate from that.
She's just 2 points away from leveling things here. Chloe Birch 5, Georgina Bland 7. In this race to 9 in the second game. Loughborough Sport lead 2-love on the night. Henry Huskainen winning the men's singles, and Greg Mears and Jenny Moore winning a thrilling mixed doubles.
5-7.
Chloe Birch to serve. Birch into the net. Another unforced error means it's game point Georgina Bland.
Yeah, she relied on what she does best, really working the shot around, being very consistent and solid.
Well watched there by Birch. So she has another life.
It'll be interesting to see if Chloe wins this point, whether she calls her power play.
Yes, yes indeed. An evenly poised second game here. Chloe Birch serves long. Into the net from Bland, 7-9. As we suspected. 7-9, 7-8, should I say. Power play called. This is essentially game point.
Very nervous point by both players here.
Chloe Birch wins it at the net. And what a huge swing in momentum that is. Remember, she trailed 8-5, and she's ended up winning that 9-8 and come through quite a stern test there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Georgina put that upon herself a little bit there. She changed the tactics and started going for it a little bit too early in the rally. She started attacking Chloe, and it was the wrong thing to do. You know, she needed to be a lot more patient in the rallies and try and work Chloe forward and back into the court, but she started attacking a little bit more, and as I say, it's not her game. You know, don't change from what you're good at. I think that was her one big opportunity to get back in this game. It's going to be tough now.
I think Chloe will be relieved and frustrated in equal measure. Relieved at the fact that she managed to win that game, but frustrated that she gifted her opponent 6 points there.
Yeah, it is one of those things. Georgina does have the game to cause Chloe an awful lot of problems, as we saw there, but she lost her concentration there, I believe, and I'm sure her coach would remind her of the tactics, but she wasn't able to maintain that. Again there, she shouldn't be attacking too early in the rallies. Use the clear first, use the drop first, create a little bit of space before you attack too early. It's not her game.
Or maybe trying to vent a little frustration at not taking the opportunity. And the last thing Georgina Bland needs is for mistakes to be creeping into her game. She's gifted her opponent 2 points here.
That's what pressure does. When you start falling behind in a game, you change the way you play, and the pressure makes you try and force the game. Now, as we're seeing now, Chloe's a lot more patient in her rallies, working it because there's no pressure on her now.
Poker players call it tilt, don't they? When you lose a hand and then all of a sudden you just don't play to your strengths. Psychology in sport, an absolutely fascinating thing.
This is better by Georgina. Much better rally. Much more suits her style. See, and then there's the mistake. I feel she's got to try and get herself back in this match as early as possible. Take the power play. Yeah, good choice. It's now or never, I think. She has to win this rally.
As a must-win rally, though, it's important that she maintains her tactics and her technique, because as we've seen, if she does go after it too early.
Yeah, every time there's been a big point in the game, she started attacking too early in the game, and it's just not suited her. She has to be patient, even though it's a very crucial point. You've got to just maintain the same way. Don't force too much. That's the one thing she really needs to go away and work at, just to maintain her game plan, because she deviates from it too often.
From a coaching perspective then, is this a game plan that you think she needs to stick with throughout her career, or do you think she needs to try and create some more attacking weapons?
Well, she obviously, you know, has a certain style of play, and that's a sort of natural way. Most players will be an attacking player or a defensive player, sometimes a counter-attacking player. And she is, for me, she plays her best when she's defending and she's rallying people and being really patient in the rallies. Of course, when you're a badminton player, she's only 23, so she's not an old girl. That she does need to work on her weaknesses and try and develop some winning shots in a game if she's to progress to the next level. But you do have a natural instinct to play a certain way, and I feel if Georgina watches this back, she'll just feel that she's deviated from her natural game. Sometimes you can get too roped up and too concentrated on what your opponent's doing. Play your own game. That's the one thing you can control.
Chloe Birch in full control now. 7-2 she leads in the third, just 2 points away from putting Loughborough Sport into an unassailable 3-love lead on the night and handing Surrey Smashers their first ever defeat on home turf. Here we are then, match point, Chloe Birch 8, Georgina Bland 2.
Went for the glory shot there.
Service over. 3, 8.
I don't think she's overstressed about it. She saw the funny side of it.
Game.
And it's all over. Chloe Birch has beaten Georgina Bland 9-5, 9-8, 9-3. And really, that match was lost at the end of that second game, wasn't it?
That's correct. You know, Georgina was in a very strong position to win that second set, and she just, as I say, she deviated from her natural game, and she just allowed Chloe to get back into it. And obviously, the power point in the end proved very crucial to get Chloe over the line.
So 3 events down, Loughborough Sport lead Surrey Smashers 3-0. Chloe Birch has just defeated Georgina Bland. Henry Herskinen defeated Carl Baxter, and Greg Mears and Jenny Moore beat Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood. Next up, men's doubles. Chris Langridge and Dean George against Peter Briggs and Harley Towler. The match officials taking their place on the court for what before the match was certainly the pick of the event. Men's doubles, Surrey Smashers, represented by their captain Chris Langridge and Dean George, against Loughborough Sport, Peter Briggs and Harley Towler, in a repeat of one of the standout events of last year. And this really could be fireworks.
Yes, this is going to be a very closely contested match, and also a very fiercely contested match, I should say, as well. That both players are used to playing each other, so they'll know what each other pair is going to bring to the court. Sometimes in men's doubles, there's an awful lot of pressure on the first 3 or 4 shots in the rally, and somebody like Peter and Harley are very, very good there. Especially Peter. Sometimes he can be very difficult to play in the first 3 or 4 shots in the rally. This type of format really suits him, where there's an awful lot of emphasis on the first 3 shots. He has such a good serve and a good return of serve. Being so tall as he is, he's 6'4", and he's very difficult to serve to.
Well, if you've not seen this match, the first in this epic series of men's doubles, then I implore you to go and watch it in the AJ Bell NBL Season 1. It went all the way down to the last shuttle. Chris Langridge and Dean George defended match point in the 4th and came back. I mean, the Surrey captain was absolutely magic. He really can electrify this event when it suits him. He's on your screen right now, is the Surrey Smashers captain. But since then, Peter Briggs and Harley Towler have lost just one of their men's doubles matches. That was in the final And Peter Briggs has become somewhat, well, of a fifth set king. He really does thrive on the pressure as the screw gets turned. And if this does live up to expectation, this will certainly be one for the AJ Bell National Badminton League history books.
Yeah, this will be a great game. Just hoping there's lots of long, exciting rallies for the crowd to enjoy. Sometimes men's doubles can be a little bit short and sharp in the rallies. You know, the games can go very quick. When you get four very quick, aggressive guys playing in and around the net, sometimes the rallies can be very short. Just hoping there's a few long rallies. And obviously at the moment Surrey are just really playing for a little bit of pride. Obviously Loughborough are really sending a strong signal out to the other teams. They've come down here, a notorious, very hard place to come and play, and they're winning 3-0, and obviously they're going to maintain their lead on the top of the league table after this tonight. But Surrey have just got to really just knuckle down, try and win one or two of these last two matches that are being played, and this is probably their best opportunity so far.
Surrey Smashers, all in black. Chris Langridge with the dark hair and the beard. Dean George stood to his right. For Loughborough, Peter Briggs, the taller of the two, and Harley Towler. Once again, they are in the African violet with the pink trim and the white chevron.
Play.
Anything loose around the net, Peter's very, very dangerous. He has such a big wingspan in the net. He's less dangerous at the rear of the court, but when he's in and around the net, sometimes he's really unplayable. Harley's quite an interesting play. He's been out for about 6 to 8 months, I think, with a quite serious elbow injury, and he's just come back, and it's great to see him back on the court, because, as I say, he's had quite a long period out through injury.
Well, 3 points in, Surrey Smashers lead 2-1, and it's all been a little bit frantic to begin with.
Men's doubles tends to be a little bit like that. And obviously there's different styles on court. If you take the Loughborough pairing, Harley's renowned for being very, very solid and steady in his play. Not a spectacular player, but a great player, because he's very reliable in his play. He's very, very solid, very hard to beat. He doesn't make any mistakes on court. Peter's slightly the opposite, where he can play lots of winning shots, but unfortunately he can make 1 or 2 mistakes, which is what's happened so far.
Well, it's the start that George and Langridge would have wanted. They lead 3-1. Smashers captain Chris Langridge with the shuttle in his hand, ready to serve. That is well played from the captain. An absolute live wire. He's twitchy, he's animated. He's certainly someone that the crowd can really get behind as well.
I thought getting married might calm him down, but I'm sure it won't. He's a really wholehearted player, gives 110% in all his games. Very animated in his play.
And George just snatching at that one. To hand for serve and the point back to Loughborough Sport.
It's a very big year for Chris this year. He's trying to qualify for the Rio Olympics, and he's in a position where him and his partner Marcus Ellis are currently in a position to qualify, so it's a very important 4 months for Chris especially.
Service over. 3-5.
Well read and good reactions there from Peter Briggs. Again, we talk about the luck off the net tape, but you make your own luck. 3-5 as Briggs serves. Both Loughborough players absolutely hammering the shuttle at Langridge there.
Yeah, that great channel attack there by Harley, really setting up his partner. Not always going for the win himself, but knowing that his partner's going to be in a very strong position. When Peter's that tall, if you're able to hit very steep down, it's very, very difficult for the defender to move the shuttle away from him. Even somebody with as great a defence as Chris, he found that very difficult.
from the line judge. Smashers 7, Loughborough 4.
Service over. 5-7.
Yeah, as I suspected, there's not too many long rallies at the moment. It's it can often be like this in men's doubles. Tactically, very, very tough to get into long rallies.
Peter Briggs just trying to force the issue, but his radar's a little bit off, and Surrey Smashers have a game point here. This first game has absolutely flown by. 8-5.
Yeah, Surrey have just been a little bit more consistent and steady in their play. Commentators curse there.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's a real thing.
I'm sorry, Dean. I should keep my mouth shut. But they're still in a strong position here.
Still game point. Briggs, Towler 6. George Langridge 8. Peter Briggs to serve. And the luck off the net tape levels itself out. Dean George wins the first game for Surrey Smashers 9-6. And they just look a little bit more comfortable out there at the moment, I think.
That's right, yeah. They just look a little bit more solid and patient in their game. Loughborough at the moment, Harley and Pete have been a little bit inconsistent in their play. You know, you can't afford to do that when you're just playing to 9 points. But Peter's the type of player that he can go hot and cold, and if he goes hot, he's very, very difficult to play against. You know what you get off Harley. He's very consistent, very solid in his play. Peter's just got to get his consistency up there.
Well, there we have it. Dino's back. Those are the banners in the crowd. He certainly is.
Yeah, Dean's done very well in the NBL so far, considering he used to be on the GB program, but he's now coaching full time, and he's one of the most exciting young coaches we have in the England programs. And he's coaching a number of our top junior players down in Horsham. He's doing a great job there.
Langridge to serve. Smashers lead 1-0. Watch from Dean George. He almost ushered it out with his hands there. A little bit of relief, I think, when it actually dropped.
Yeah, it's a nice point. You always feel better when you win the first point of any game, and Dean George was very relieved to see that shot land out.
Remember, you can get in touch with us on Twitter. At @NBL_official is the address we'd like you to tweet to. As Peter Briggs serves to Langridge. Yeah, and pounces quickly. Great reactions there.
It's the much stronger formation for the Loughborough team to have Peter serving, playing in around the net, and Harley covering the mid-court and rear-court areas. They just look a lot more comfortable in that formation.
Into the net from Towler. Both Briggs and Towler Loughborough alumni, by the way, so they are very much counting those as homegrown players. Dean George serves to Peter Briggs.
Yeah, that's right. Peter and Harley both graduated from Loughborough a year and a half ago, and now they're in full-time training down at the National Centre in Milton Keynes.
Langridge really catching that one out of the screws.
Yeah, it was more the accuracy, really hitting very accurate down the line, finding the inside hip of Harley Towler, then not being able to get the shuttle away.
Because the way this game's gone so far, we've not really seen any of these players able to release the power that they've got.
No, it's as I say, there hasn't been too many long rallies with lots of hard smashes. It's been a lot of this type of play where, you know, most of the rallies are finished in the first 4 or 5 shots. And at the moment, Chris and Dean are doing it better than Peter and Harley. Nice play there by Chris. It's what you always tell your players, to be nice and aggressive from mid-court coming forward. That was a classic example there by Chris. He saw the opportunity mid-court, hit the shot very hard and then followed it forward.
He waited at the net to apologise then. Did he mean it?
He did. Obviously, you don't want to hit the opponent in the net, but in the head. But Harley wouldn't be too worried about that. It's something that happens an awful lot.
Of course. Loughborough calling for a timeout here, a much-needed one as well, because they're in a little bit of bother.
Yeah, Andy Wood's going to have to use all his experience here to get Harley and Peter back in this game and get their mind basically back into this game. They look very down at the moment. Their body language is not that great. You know, Andy's trying to be really encouraging there, but they've got to try and turn this around very, very quickly. Dean and Chris just look a lot more relaxed and comfortable in themselves.
Dean and Chris took the first 9-6. They lead 5-2 in the second.
But as we know, the game can change around very quickly. 1 or 2 points for the Loughborough boys. They take their power play and the game can be theirs. And the whole momentum of the game can change.
Well, momentum, it's that key word again. We've seen teams close 3-point deficits twice tonight so far, but with shots like that from Dean George, it is going to be very, very difficult for Loughborough Sport to crowbar their way back into this one. Surrey Smashers 6, Loughborough Sport 2. Dean George to serve to Peter Briggs.
As we're seeing there, Peter's a little bit less dangerous at the rear court. You know, they're flick serving him now. I'm sure that's a tactic they've talked about and trying to work him in the rear court because he just doesn't have as much power.
Well, a bit of ray of light here for Surrey Smashers in what's been otherwise been a pretty dark evening.
That's right, they can rescue some pride in this game so far. Obviously they've lost the tie, being 3-love down, but if they can manage to get back to 3-1 or 3-2, then it's you know, it's not a wasted night, and every point counts, as we know, for the league table position.
Peter Briggs there, stemming the flow, albeit with a little bit of luck off the net, but Harley Towner could really do with putting a service run together here, and that's a good start.
Yeah, I feel it's now or never, really. They've really got to get back into this game.
Well, no sooner had they scored the point, Smashers pounced to give themselves a game point here, 8-4. Just to our right-hand side, the social media team are going absolutely crazy, ready to get the crowd reaction of when they win this second game. And there it is, shuttle into the net. Dean George and Chris Langridge take the second game at 9-4. Having taken the first 9-6, and dare I say it, John, they look in control.
Yeah, obviously, Chris and Dean are both very experienced players, and they're certainly playing their part for their team. Obviously, Chris being the captain, and Dean at the moment the assistant coach as well. So they're really stepping up to the plate and really looking to get the first point on the board for their team, because, as you say, it's crucial. This point could make the difference between qualifying for the playoffs or not. Plus, they have their own professional pride. They don't want to lose, you know, regardless of the match score.
Certainly could. So Loughborough started the night on 7 points. They're now up to 10. Surrey started this evening on 5 points in 4th position. So this would be a very handy point to take them up to 6. We'll have a look to see
That's right, they could fall out in the top 4 positions if results go against them tonight, so every point is crucial.
Still lots and lots of badminton to be played. And
yeah, look, we can't count out Peter and Harley yet. They're not firing on all cylinders at the moment. They look a little bit out of sorts at the moment, but they are the type of players and pair who can get back in this. And it only takes them to win a set and they're really back into this match.
And mistakes like that from Chris Langridge are exactly what they need. That is a chance gone begging for him. Loughborough lead 2-love early in the 3rd, but trailed 2-love in the match.
Uncharacteristic, couple of mistakes there by Harley.
So having a look around the grounds, if you like, Team Derby are currently 2-1 up. So that takes them to 7 points. So it's important that Surrey Smashers, who are currently level with them on 5 points, do take as much from this as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Every point is crucial. Even for Loughborough, who are in a strong position in the league, they're going to be one to win this tie 5-0. Puts them in a really privileged position for the last few matches. Nice defence there by Harley.
Puts Loughborough Sport back into a 2-point lead, 4-2. This is a must-win game for them if they're to stay in this tie.
Nice return there by Dean. Just getting a little bit of fortune with the net cord, but again, fortune favours the brave, and he really went for a nice tight return there. By Chris. That play was really set up by Chris Langridge there, really setting his partner up well. That's the best thing you can do in doubles, is be a good partner. So try and set your partner up, make them look good.
So when you played doubles, were you the partner who set your partner up, or were you the partner who looked good?
Sometimes, but a bit of both. But it's the best bit of advice you can give players, is that try and set your partner up. I know it might seem a very basic, simple thing to say, but it's a very crucial thing to do. Do the simple things well. Think and play for your partner at all times.
3 points in a row here then for the Smashers, from 2-4 down to 5-4 up. But Briggs reacts well at the net. Puts Chris Langridge flat on his face. 5-all, evenly poised now, this 3rd game.
Yeah, I think this is a good, important time for both pairs now. Potentially one of them looking to take their power play. Sometimes I feel that sometimes the players wait a little bit too late to take the power play, and then they're going to wait until 7 and think, okay, the next point is game point. But sometimes, if you can win it now, you really put yourself in a strong position. You force your opponent to win 3 or 4 rallies in a row, which is never easy to do.
A bit of a loose one there from Peter Briggs, and Dean George pounces.
Again, Surrey should be taking their point here again, because it will stop Loughborough taking their power play. It's just as important. I think they've missed a trick here.
Well, missed a trick they may have, but they've certainly got away with it.
are taking it now.
See, that's an interesting one. I think they'd have been better off taking it the point before. Admittedly, this makes it game point.
Loughborough should have taken it when they were serving it 5-all, because it would have stopped Surrey the opportunity to take it, regardless of whether they won the point or not.
Well, this is now match point.
And it's over. Great defence by Harley.
Well, Peter Briggs and Harley Towler, that is probably the best defensive rally we've seen all night.
Yeah, it's probably the best they've played all night.
Well, they've kept themselves in the match. They really should have been put away there.
Yeah, but it's still a long way back for them now. They've got to win 3 out of the next 4 rallies. I think that's very, very tough to do against Chris and Dean.
Well, the power play for the match. That is 1 match point saved. Huge, huge, huge point here. A couple of mind games there from Chris Langridge, just delaying the Towler serve.
Definitely a bit of gamesmanship, because it is harder to serve with a new shuttle, and just making them think a little bit. Harley not having any of it.
Mistake from Towler. Just when you think Loughborough Sport might be getting back into this one, Surrey Smashers have 3 match points with their captain, Chris Langridge, to serve.
Yeah, they deserve this. They've looked the stronger, more stable pair throughout.
And how key is that power play now? Because should Loughborough win this point, they're not able to claim theirs.
What's that?
1 match point saved for Loughborough Sport.
Again, we'll see what Peter's bottle's like here, whether he's able to get a good short serve in.
Let's serve short. Big, big, big call there from the line judge. Chris Langridge cannot believe it.
Yeah, very, very close.
So now match point Surrey Smashers, game point Loughborough Sport.
Again, Chris just making Peter wait. Just make him think a little bit more about the serve.
Peter Briggs wins the game and stares down Dean George as well.
Yeah, that was... I'd say Peter struggled a little bit in the match so far, but when it was required, the last 2 or 3 points, he really dominated it. He served very, very well, and he was very commanding at the net, which is his strength. They did well to get back from that game.
I've spoken a few times this evening about Peter Briggs's bottle and how well he's done it in the breakers when it's got to 4-all. But he really did step up to the plate there. That was a huge, huge point.
Yeah, he showed it there. He hasn't been at his best tonight, but as I say, when his back was against the wall, he really stepped forward and was very good there.
Well, 3 match points defended. 4 if you include the power play. Chris Langridge and Dean George still lead. They won the first 9-6. They won the second 9-4. But Peter Briggs and Harley Towler with a little bit of momentum after a great fight back there to take the third 9-8. But what a start from Dean George.
Yeah, it wasn't a great serve there by Peter. The 2 players just having a little giggle to themselves, because it almost took Dean a little bit by surprise. It was such a bad serve, it almost became a good one.
Into the net from Langridge, but you could hear him shouting at Dean to get back there. He's certainly very, very vocal out there on the court.
by Dean and Chris. Dean doing a lot of the overhead attacking, and Chris getting the glory at the net. As I say, making your partner look good.
The Smashers lead in the 4th game, and 2-1 overall. Dean George to serve.
Again, slightly surprising they're not taking the power play. There's no point leaving it for the 5th set if they don't get there. They've got to try and take it as early as possible. Especially, they're in a position now that Loughborough's strongest formation is when Peter's serving and Harley's at the back, and that's the time when you take the power play. That gives you the best opportunity.
Oh, nicely done at the back of the court there from Peter Briggs.
Great angle there, Peter. He doesn't have the most powerful smash, but what he does possess is that really steep angle. That was a very deceptive shot, bring the shuttle down very steep in front of Chris.
Still no power play, but Briggs to serve to Langridge.
Exactly, this is what I'm saying. They still haven't taken their power play, and this is the opportunity for them to have taken it.
Well, timeout called by Surrey Smashers. Chris Langridge, incredulous. He thought that serve was out, but both line judges who could see it called it in.
I think he's having a word with the service judge because he feels it was slightly high. Obviously, when you're 6'4", you do hit the shuttle a little bit higher than most people. Yeah. So only the service judge knows whether it was a fault or not. But sometimes when you get aced like that, you think, "Oh, it can't be me. It's got to be something my opponent's done."
Well, we don't see it very often, particularly at this level, but what it does mean is Loughborough Sport have a 2-point lead. Will we once again? Oh, Chris Langridge really looking to get the attention of the service judge there, waving his racket in her face. Again, all part of his tactics to just...
It's obviously, it's not nice to see, but obviously Chris is experienced playing. He's just putting a bit of pressure on the service judge to really focus on that. I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be a fault serve before the end of the game.
Well, watch this space for that. And of course, he does like to play the game at his own pace as well, whether that is fast or slow. He likes to be in full control, but Briggs again. I was going to say Briggs again with a great service run, but Smashers strike back 4-6 now. I think it was really important that they stemmed the tide then. Langridge to serve to Briggs.
Good shot there by him. Not playing the most obvious shot down the line. Going back to where the shuttle initially came from. Very clever play.
There's always space somewhere, and Dean George did very well to find it there. Smashers back to within 1. We are really close to the business end of this match now. Chris Langridge to serve to Harley Towler. Smashers 5, Loughborough 6. Well, watch from Briggs. Now, will they call the power play?
Obviously, they're leaving it to the 5th set.
It's a big call. It is a big call. Remember, Loughborough came back from a very similar position in the previous game. But now Surrey really do have their work cut out here. Game point, Loughborough Sport, 8-5. Will we be going for a 5th?
It looks like it.
Whew. It's a huge call. And we are, it's out. Loughborough Sport have found some form. They level things up at 2 games apiece. Langridge and George took the first 9-6, second 9-4. Then Peter Briggs really turned up the heat in the third that Loughborough took 9-8. And then 9-5. Loughborough, of course, have the power play.
And they're taking it straight away. And I think that's the correct time. Take it immediately, especially when Peter's serving.
Well, this game has lived up to its billing, hasn't it? We thought it might be a thriller. There was a time after 2 games that we thought maybe Surrey Smashers would be in complete control, but credit to Loughborough.
Yeah, they've dug in very, very well. Peter, especially at the crucial times, played very, very well, because he'd really struggled for the first 2 sets.
Here we go then, Peter Briggs with the pink tip power play, the AJ Bell power play shuttle in his hand.
Yeah, the most important point of the game so far.
If Loughborough do take this, then it's match point.
Both pairs really understanding the importance of this rally.
I think this is exactly what the NBL people had in mind when they invented the power play. Great rally. Dean George riles up the home crowd. That is a huge point, and that is what the AJ Bell National Badminton League is all about.
Yes, we've waited a little bit of time, but that was the best rally of the match so far. You could really sense the tension from all 4 players and everybody in the crowd, just how important that rally was.
It is a race to 5 points or 3 clear points to see who will take this match. The last time these 2 pairs met, Chris Langridge hit the winner. It was 4-5 in the breaker. Surrey Smashers did lead 1, but Dean George hits it into the net, so it's 1-all. Racket went into the mouth then and everything. He was disappointed with that.
Yeah, he saw the opportunity there and just snatched it a little bit. Sometimes when you see that opportunity and that gap on the court, you just tense up a little bit. But I'm expecting 4-5 again. I'm not going to call who, but I'm expecting 4-5.
Punch long and wide by Briggs. After Dean George put the hammer down. Surrey Smashers 2, Loughborough Sport 1. George serves to Briggs. Tried to change the tactics, but Briggs was wise to it, should I say. Smash down the line, too hot for Chris Langridge, 2-all. And again, this formation that you're a big fan of, Briggs serves.
Yeah, it's the best position they're in. And Pete at the moment's being very brave. He called it very well at the start about how well he'd played in the important points, and he's done so far.
2 points in a row for Loughborough Sport, 3-2 they lead.
He wasn't brave there though.
He wasn't. Look at this reaction from Chris Langridge as well. As soon as the shuttle left the racket, he had both hands out. Almost like he's trying to become the pantomime villain here. It didn't matter in the end because it was a bad serve from Briggs.
Sometimes it's a natural technique. When you do flick the serve from a backhand serve, you do tend to turn over a little bit, and that's what Chris is complaining about.
3-all.
Great serve.
And an ace. What a time to come up with the goods. Briggs overran it. He thought it was going to drop short. Huge, huge call. And once again, in this event, Chris Langridge has the opportunity to win it.
That's it. When you get to these tight points, it's all about being brave, not being scared to miss, playing the difficult shot.
But it's not enough. Peter Briggs finds the net, and the captain and the assistant coach Chris Langridge and Dean George have come up with the performance of the night to defeat Peter Briggs and Harley Towler in 5. All 4 players get the standing ovation they deserve. Chris Langridge and Dean George have defeated Peter Briggs and Harley Towler 9-6, 9-4, 8-9, 5-9, 5-3, and John Quinn, that was magnificent.
Yes, it was just 1 or 2 points, Chris was just that little bit more composed at the end. It got back to 3-all, and Peter, he'd served so well short, just flicked it, and he flicked it about 2 foot out the side. It was just, you just got to believe, and as I say, be brave. Chris was very brave on those last 2 serves. He did an ace on Peter. He's very difficult to serve against Peter, but Chris believed in himself, and that was the difference there, because there was no difference in the levels. It was just being brave at the right time.
Well, talking about being brave then, had that long serve come off, would we have been talking about Peter Briggs?
He's a genius.
Tactical masterclass.
Absolutely.
Those are the small margins we're dealing with, but we have had 2 phenomenal doubles matches so far. In the mixed, Greg Mears and Jenny Moore defeated Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood in 5. That was 5-4 in the last. In the men's doubles, we had the 5-setter that you've just seen. Absolutely brilliant from Chris Langridge and Dean George, because as we said, at one point they looked in control, but to regather themselves and to stay composed after losing the 3rd and the 4th game really does deserve a huge amount of credit. They've got Surrey Smashers off the mark, but they still trail 3-1 as we go into our final event of the evening. It is the women's doubles. Surrey Smashers Sophie Brown and Abigail Holden will face Loughborough Sports' Lauren Smith and Jenny Woolwork. A great way to end proceedings this evening, but this could be potentially a tough one for the Surrey pair.
Yes, Loughborough very strong here in this ladies doubles. Lauren's obviously formed the top GB pair that we have at the moment, ladies doubles, with Heather Oliver, who plays for Birmingham Lions, and Jenny Woolwork is a previous top 5 in the world at mixed doubles with Nathan Robertson. She's taken herself off the GB programme a few years ago, but she's still an excellent player, and they're strong favourites in this. Sophie and Abigail have done well so far in the NBL, and Sophie's shown an improvement that she's made in the last couple of years, and is forming a very good partnership with Kate Robertshaw. Abigail, obviously, she's just 16 years of age. She's one of our top ladies players, both in singles and doubles in the England junior programme, and it's great to see her out here with our top players, and so it's a great opportunity for her to show what she can do.
Certainly is. Brown and Holden have won their one appearance together in the AJ Bell National Badminton League, though that was a 3-0 victory against MK Badminton way back on match night 1. But yes, as you say, Smith and Woolwork, a very, very formidable pairing, and they seem to suit this format as well. The AJ Bell National Badminton League has been a very happy hunting ground for the Loughborough Sport women's pair.
Yeah, they're both aggressive players, both physically very strong, hitting the shuttle very, very hard. And so as a result, Sophie's got to really get her tactics right to help Abigail as much as possible, because as you see from the size difference, Abigail is considerably smaller and weaker than some of the other girls on court. So Sophie's got to be very clever here.
This is the final event of the evening. Surrey Smashers against Loughborough Sport. Loughborough Sport lead 3-1 after victories in the mixed doubles, the men's singles and the women's singles. Surrey Smashers 1 point came in that epic men's doubles that we've just witnessed. And Lauren Smith is about to get us underway. Loughborough in the purple, pink and white. Surrey Smashers all in black. Into the net, so Smashers with the first point.
It's over, 1-1.
Just missing the line there, Jenny.
So it's over, 2-1.
Yeah, I think you'll find that the two Loughborough girls, Lauren and Jenny, will direct a lot of their attack towards Abigail, as we're seeing now. Oh.
Service over. 2-all.
Yeah, just getting a little bit confused with each other there. Clever shot by Sophie, just placing the shuttle high and deep down the middle of the court, just causing that indecision.
Brown and Holden lead 3-2 here early in the first. That's wide there from Lauren Smith, so 4-2, a handy lead here for the Surrey Smashers.
Yeah, Abigail at the moment doesn't look phased. It's probably a good thing that she's already played in the NBL, so she's used to this experience. She knows what to expect. And Sophie's normally very stable and solid in her play.
Sophie working hard in defence there, but
Service over. 3-4.
Jenny Walwork punishing anything loose.
Yeah, as I mentioned previously, Jenny was an excellent mixed player, which makes her, she's normally very aggressive around the net.
Service over. 5-3.
You saw the funny side of that. Wasn't the greatest serve she's ever played.
I think you have to see the funny side of that, because otherwise you find your evening getting very, very frustrating.
Yeah, she quickly put it behind her.
Service over. 4-5.
Just wide there from Holden.
Yeah, Jenny using a bit of experience there. Cross-court clearance to Abigail, then smashing cross-court at her. Really trying to isolate her on court.
What we are seeing, though, with players like Holden coming through, and of course Grace King, who took all the headlines with that victory against Georgina Bland a few match nights ago, is that these franchises, despite the fact that they're bringing over top international talent and some of the best talent that Britain has to offer, they're not scared to give the youngsters the opportunity to shine.
Absolutely, and I think with it being an Olympic qualification year, then certain players are missing, and obviously, you know, the Indian Premier League is going on at the moment, which gives these young players like, normally Gabby Adcock would be playing tonight, but it's absolutely fantastic that somebody like Abigail gets the opportunity to play in front of a crowd like this, and you know, because it's great for their experience, it's great for their development. You don't get crowds like this in junior badminton, so and you don't get this atmosphere as well. So she'll only improve from this experience.
Game point to Smith and Walwork here, into the net from Brown. So Loughborough Sport take a one-game lead, 9-5 in the first.
Yeah, that changed around quite quick. It was 5-4 at one stage to Sophie and Abigail. It changed very, very quickly.
When you have two players as dangerous as Smith and Walwork, that can often happen. What do you think that the Surrey Smashers pair need to do to hang in there for a little bit longer in the second and put themselves in a position to win it?
Well, Abigail's a strong singles player. She actually, her background is primarily more in singles than it is in doubles. So she's got to rely on those strengths, and they've got to try and prolong the rallies, using lots of variation in their shots, lots of clears, drops, not all just smashing hard, because it really suits Jenny and Lauren. It suits their game a lot more. They've just got to try and prolong the rallies and use a little bit of variation in their shots.
Out. Service over.
Mistake on the Smith serve, so once again Surrey Smashers take the first point of the game.
That's it, very nice play. Yeah, very intelligent shot there, being very patient on the first lift, and then when you get the opportunity to find it, the space cross court, she really hit it very nicely there. Again, I praised it too quickly there.
1-2.
For the sake of her highlights reel, she'll just get the best bits of commentary, I swear.
No, it Makes me feel very old watching Abigail, because I used to practice a little bit with her dad. So it's a sobering thought. Anytime the rallies are fast and flat, it really suits the Loughborough girls a lot more.
So how can the Surrey Smashers pair counteract that?
They've just got to try and find space on court, and any time that the Loughborough girls are hitting hard and driving the shuttle and smashing the shuttle very hard at them, they've got to try and take pace off and find the space on court.
So looking at this Loughborough player now, where do you think the space is?
Well, obviously a lot of the time when the rear court player is smashing or driving the shuttle hard, sometimes the space is cross court, whether it's deep cross court or to the net cross court, because a lot of the time, you know, as coaches, you tell your players to channel attack, that you smash at one particular person and almost have two people attacking one person on half court, but you've got to get away from that. You've got to try and find the space on the court. One time Abigail did that when she hit the shuttle across court. It was for quite an easy winner, but they just haven't been able to get to do that often enough.
Well, mistakes from Smith and Walworth that they've both been able to see the funny side of, but when the opportunity comes, Jenny Walworth taking no prisoners against 16-year-old Holden.
Yeah, Jenny and Lauren won't. They'll just play to their strengths and hit the shuttle very hard and straight a lot of the time. This is where Sophie and Abigail have got to try and use a little bit of thought in their play to defend a lot smarter. Be patient. Yeah, like rallies like this suits them a little bit better. They're cross court. And move their opponents. Yeah, good play there. So instead of just the straight hard smash, Sophie did a little slice drop there. Just gave the Loughborough girls something different to think about.
Locked at 5-all, and they call the power play.
Yeah, I think that's a decent time to call it.
5-all.
Because they've struggled to keep touch with the Loughborough girls, but if they manage to win this point, it puts them in a strong position within this set.
The AJ Bell power play with 2 points to the server, but unsuccessful on this occasion.
Yeah, good aggressive play there by Jenny. It's what she's renowned for.
If you are watching AJ Bell National Badminton League for the first time, both teams have one power play per event, and you can't call the power play in the same game. It's worth 2 points if you're successful, but once it's gone, it's gone.
Losing that power play hasn't had a massive effect. They've managed to stay in touch. Very nice.
Sophie Brown smelling blood there and taking no prisoners, which is something that the Loughborough pair have tried to do, but...
Yeah, very nice. That's it. Move. Whenever you're defending, try and move your opponents. It takes away a lot of their power. You know, unfortunately, she's just made the mistake there, but I thought that defence was a lot smarter.
7-all.
Well, they are thinking about it now, and Sophie Brown seems to be communicating well with Abigail Holden as well.
Oh, she absolutely has to take the leadership role in this partnership.
Out.
Another service error from Jenny Walworth, and Surrey Smashers have game point here.
See again there. She started hitting hard and hard and hard when it wasn't there to be hit. You needed to just be a little bit patient there. And it's hard though when you've got a game point, you just think the only thing I can do is hit hard. Sometimes you just put yourself under a little bit too much pressure.
So Lauren Smith serves. It's game point. So whoever wins this.
Ooh. Well played, Abigail. Oh, they got the luck.
They did. Sophie Brown got the luck in the end, but what about the defence from Abigail Holden leading up to that? Great stuff from the youngster.
Yes, it's. I don't know if they've thought about how they're defending, but it's much smarter play. You've got to move your opponent when you're defending, especially in ladies doubles. If you just keep hitting hard and flat, it becomes very easy and predictable to play against. You must open up this court.
Well, we had a great view of that because our commentary position is looking directly into that corner that she kept hitting into. And that's certainly where the space was. We talked about areas they could find the space, and towards the back end of that second game, they did that with aplomb. Credit to the Surrey pair, and we're locked at 1-1.
It won't always be a winning shot, but it nullifies their attack. You know, it takes away a lot of the power and the... See there, when it's hard and straight like that, when it's two girls attacking one girl on half court, it's going to finish 9 times out of 10. And Sophie has to be smart in her play as well, that she doesn't isolate her partner by lifting cross court too many times, because she'll just isolate her partner, Abigail, that the girls can then smash against her.
Again, Abigail trying to get caught up in the power game there. She comes unstuck. And Loughborough Sport lead 2-love early in the third.
She's acquitting herself very well though, because she's playing two very, very good opponents here. I'm very impressed.
Playing with a smile on her face as well. Credit to Sophie Brown too. She's marshalling her around very well. As we expected, Abigail Holden is getting a lot of attention, isn't she? She's seen the vast majority of the shuttle. As Surrey Smashers call for the timeout. Again, what do you think the coaching staff will be saying here?
Well, I think Steve, obviously, you've got two coaches there. Andy will just be trying to keep them calm, just remind them what to do. Steve will probably be trying to remind them about their tactics in terms of defending smartly, trying to play in the right areas of the court. They can't play this game with too much pace all the time because it just won't work. Lauren and Jenny are just too well equipped to deal with that type of game. So they've just got to be smart, prolong the rallies, play big court as often as possible, and try and find as much space on court as whenever they can.
Well, when they've played smart, it's paid dividends. They won that second game based on intense badminton.
It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do when people are smashing at you to be able to turn the shuttle away from them. But it's what they've got to try and do.
Lauren Smith dominating the net there. 5-love is the score. I think Loughborough Sport realise that they're in a game here and they're looking to put this one to bed.
Yeah, Loughborough will be very determined to try and win this tie 4-1, because it'll put them in a very strong position in the league table. Good play. Yeah, Sophie will be disappointed with that. She's going to be very solid and reliable on defence.
Well, look, again winning the point at the net, but...
Are they going to take the power play? No.
But Holden showing that she's not
scared
to play the shot.
No, that's the encouraging thing. She hasn't been phased by this. She's just lost to, she's potentially going to lose to just two stronger players. But she hasn't been phased, and she's tried to do the right things, which is encouraging. As I say, she'll learn an awful lot from this experience.
Particularly from a coaching point of view, it must be frustrating when you see a young player who's obviously got a lot of talent kind of go inside their shell when they come up against more experienced and stronger opposition.
That's right, yeah. sometimes you can freeze a little bit on the big occasion and go very, very passive in your play and just almost rely on your opponent to make mistakes. But by doing that, you just invite more pressure onto yourself. But the Loughborough girls have got themselves together again in this third set.
They certainly have, and they have got 6 game points. 8-2 they lead. Walwork to serve.
Game.
And that is the third game. Loughborough back in the lead. They take game 3, 9 points to 2, having lost the second 8-9 and won the first 9-5. There seems to be a bit of a sea change there, doesn't there? I think Loughborough Sport have really put the hammer down, and they're making it hard work for Surrey Smashers.
That's right. They've just got their focus back a little bit in that third set. They played very, very well. And they were very dominant there, very aggressive and very much in control. Well, let's not count Sophie and Abigail out yet.
Nope.
They proved they can win a set, and if they can win one, they can win 2.
They certainly can. And in the previous match, the men's doubles, it looked for all the world like Briggs and Towler were down and out at 2 games down.
They're certainly having a good time, Sophie and Abigail, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Double.
And that's great to see, especially at a venue like this, with a crowd like this. Good to see the players enjoying themselves as well.
Yeah, it's good that Sophie's, as the more experienced player, just trying to keep her younger partner calm. Yeah, lovely return there by Abigail. Point there. That's nice.
Hold. Jenny. 3-1.
The umpire called a fault there.
3-1.
Jenny must have hit the net.
Well, that's 2 free points in a row. The umpire there
She's not arguing, so she obviously did.
looking at Jenny.
Yeah, it wasn't clear from here, but obviously Jenny, I think she realised that she did.
Just lost pictures for a second. And we're back online now. Surrey Smashers 3-2 up now after 2 absolute freebies from Loughborough Sport in the 4th. Loughborough Sport lead 3-1 on the night. They lead 2 games to 1 here. And this would really, really send a message to the AJ Bell National Badminton League should it finish 4-1 to Loughborough Sport. But Abigail Holden does well at the net there. Pounces on the Lauren Smith mistake.
Just that change of pace there at the net. She just created a big space by not hitting so hard, just placing it into the gap and then setting up the easy kill at the net. Again, that's better by Abigail. She doesn't need to hit every overhead really hard. Sometimes it's just putting her under more pressure, especially when she smashes at Jenny, because Jenny will just drive the shuttle back at her, and she's not able to then get the shuttle away. She's got to try and mix it up. And Andy Woods called the timeout.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because there have been times in this match where Loughborough Sport, Smith and Walwork have just looked like they could disappear out of sight at any time, but then all of a sudden Surrey Smashers win the second game. They're 5-2 up in the 4th.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. As you say, Lauren and Jenny look completely in control of this game. They look the much stronger pair, but we could be going into a 5th set.
Well, it would be a fitting way to end an eventful evening here. And the 2 doubles matches we've had so far have certainly not disappointed, and this one hasn't either.
I think this is quite a big point, because obviously Loughborough will be desperate to come away with a 4-1 win. They would have expected to easily win this ladies' doubles, but it won't be a disaster now if Surrey are able to somehow scrap this 5th tie in their favour.
Well, let's not forget, there's still a power play to come from Surrey as well. It might not have been a bad idea to call it there, actually. of a sudden, Loughborough Sport seem to have screwed their heads on. They've won the last 2 points.
Again, it was probably quite smart to call the timeout there because they just lost their way a little bit. As I say, just breaking.
Bodyline tactics there from Jenny Warwick. Too hot for Abigail Holden, and 5-2 becomes 5-all. And all of a sudden, the pressure starts to build. Four points in a row now for Loughborough Sport. Suddenly it's becoming hard work for Surrey Smashers.
Lauren will be disappointed with herself there. She was in a strong early position to make that shot. Just give the Surrey Smashers a lifeline there.
Over. 7-6.
Loughborough Sport now just 2 points away. But up comes Sophie Brown with a big play. Surrey Smashers now just 2 points away themselves. 2 points away from forcing another breaker. Brown to serve to Allwork. Really big point, this.
Yeah, and the Loughborough girls are attacking Abigail there. But she hung in there. I think they just caught the line. Clever shot, straight down the middle.
Here it is then, match point. Lauren Smith to serve for Loughborough Sport. Into the net. Wowee, what a time to come up with a mistake like that. I tell you what, they're smiling about it, but I'm not sure the coaches will be.
They won't if they lose this game. What does Abigail have? Does she serve short? She flicks. Great shot. Great shot.
What a shot from Sophie Brown. Flick of the right hand into the space. No answer from Loughborough Sport. And we are going to a 5-point breaker in this women's doubles. Do you know what? You can say all you like about this Surrey Smashers pair, but boy oh boy have they shown bottle when it counts. They won the second 9-8, they won the fourth 9-8, and who would bet against them winning the fifth?
Well, that's, I mean, at the moment, Jenny and Lauren would have been huge favourites to win this, and the pressure's on them a little bit now. You know, Sophie and Abigail are playing with a big smile on their face. They've got nothing to lose here. I still think Loughborough have got their power play to play, though. So potentially that could have a huge impact on it, but they don't seem to be interested in it so far, which is slightly surprising.
Abigail Holden, could she be another success story? Let's not forget she's undefeated in the NBL.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's great for Abigail, being 16 years of age and so far being a mainstay of the team. She might keep Gabby Adcock out of the team, you never know.
Watch this space on match night 5. Abigail Holden to serve. Once again, she is the target, though.
I don't think it was a very clever shot by Sophie, though. The partner, she didn't do her partner any favours. She lifted short, cross court, which enabled Lauren just to smash straight at Abigail.
Lauren Smith has the AJ Bell power play shuttle in her hand. This is effectively match point, Loughborough Sport.
That's out.
Out from Abigail Holden, so Loughborough Sport take the breaker and the match. Congratulations go to the team from the East Midlands. They have defeated a very, very plucky Surrey Smashers women's doubles team. 9-5, 8-9, 9-2, 8-9, 3-0. A great way, a fitting way, and a fair result in the end, but the Surrey Smashers team can be very, very happy with their performance in that women's doubles.
That's right, they really did play well. I thought that was going to be a little bit of a one-sided match, but Sophie and Abigail really did well, especially Abigail. You know, I was really pleasantly surprised about how well she played and how mature she played. And they really pushed Lauren and Jenny all the way, and it could have gone either way. You know, it it was a good match.
So a quick recap on the events this evening. Loughborough Sport got off to winning ways. Greg Mears and Jenny Moore beat Chris Tonks and Emily Westwood in 5. Carl Baxter then lost in 3 to Henry Huskainen to make it 2-0 to Loughborough. Chloe Birch again beat Georgina Bland in 3, so Loughborough led 3-0 at that point. Then we had a fantastic men's doubles. Chris Langridge and Dean George getting Surrey Smashers' only point of the night in defeating Peter Briggs and Harley Towler 5-3 in the breaker. And we've just seen Lauren Smith and Jenny Walworth defeat Sophie Brown and Abigail Holden in 5 for a 4-1 Loughborough victory. John Quinn, your thoughts on the evening?
Well, obviously, Loughborough are really pushing themselves forward as being the favourites for this year. I think they look a very, very strong team. They've had a very settled team as well. They've been able to play their best players every match. You know, Henry's been able to play all the time, and Lauren Smith and Jenny and all. So they look very, very strong. Obviously, Surrey are struggling a little bit in the league, but they do have the best, possibly 3 of their best players not playing in the match. Obviously, with Robert Blair, Gabby White, and Tom Wolford, and so they're going to look to come back really strong in the last few matches to try and cement that top 4 placing.
Thank you very much, John. Please join us on 8th of February for match night 5, where University of Nottingham host this Surrey Smashers team. Team Derby are at home to MK Badminton, and top of the table, Loughborough Sport host Birmingham Lions. On behalf of myself, Dave Rogers, and John Quinn, thank you very much for joining us on AJ Bell National Badminton League Match Night 4. Surrey smashed once again. Loughborough Sport disappear at the M1 with a huge smile on their face after another resounding victory. And we'll speak to you again next time.